about youth unemployment because it's been rising every year. Statistics, I don't think we are winning that much, or we get employed very late in our lives. Thank you so much to the organizers for giving me the opportunity. Youth in South Africa are the driving force, as you know. You've seen on social media. The previous speaker also alluded to it as well. We party a lot. We want to be seen. And maybe somehow we don't have a vision, or we lose our vision along the way trying to get there. Probably maybe we didn't start right, or we started right, but we lost focus, or we lacked resources, or maybe you saw your friend doing something else and then you lost your own way and, went the other way. When you wake up, you are unemployed, you are almost 35 or almost 40, and you actually don't know what to do. The unemployment is actually a very huge challenge in our society, but I want to touch on what actually causes it. What do you think is causing it when we look around? One of the reasons of unemployment, it could be a mismatch of education. You might find that in school you're thinking, I should be doing mathematics, or I should be doing accounting, only to find you actually don't have passion in that field. You were actually meant to do something else. So somehow the education has to look into it, has to look into how in our schools we can engage the young into focusing or finding that passion that they can actually say, these subjects are going to lead me into what I want to be in future. Another thing could be lack of experience. Sometimes when you go for interviews, they want 10 years of experience and you are only 22. But then how do you tackle that, the lack of experience? In our communities, we have people ba rukang, batho ba etsang mesebetsi ya matsoho. How about maybe you go to those people and ask them if you can lend a help? There was a young lady that I spoke to a while back. She came and said, I like catering. I want to, learn more about catering. Is there a university I can go to? Do you have money? I asked. And she said, no. And I said, but catering is very wide. Every community has catering people. Have you been there? Have you been to that person and say, can I learn how you do your catering? But I was disappointed when she came back and said, my mom said I'll be used. I didn't understand it. Or maybe she was right. But I thought you wanted to learn about catering without having to spend money to go to the university. And learning hands-on might actually give you the more insight, because the schools sometimes don't give you everything. It's how you engage with clients. It's how you communicate your business. I thought you wanted to learn that so that you can do that. And said, no, I'm not doing it. My mom said I'll be used. So I don't know what it meant, but maybe in our communities we can look into that and see that we don't use the young people, but actually give them the learning that they need, especially when you have that business that they want to go into. Another thing is, talked about experience. Yes, with that said, I was trying to actually teach her that she can actually get an experience from that, so that when she does look for a job, she actually has some form of experience, whether it's a 1-year experience or 2 years experience. She's post-matric. She's not a young person in high school. She's actually post-matric. So that's just an example of how you can get experience in work environment. I'm a dentist. So I work with confidentiality. It's not easy for me to give someone such experience, but we can actually teach you how admin works, for example, without having to go into clinical, field of it. Another challenge, of course, is the economy. Sometimes we might find that I do need someone to work in my practice, but only to find I'm lacking money. I don't have enough clients, but I still want someone to do a bit of marketing out there. So then the young person comes in, then I discuss, let's do this, you have social media, let's work on that and, put my business out there, do marketing for me, but this is how much I can afford. And then the young person says, nope, I'm not taking that. I'd rather just sit at home. My advice to you is that, yes, you can do that, but for a limited time. That's part of getting experience. That's part of putting, work experience on your CV, because most of the companies that we work with, they don't want people that actually, they feel like they are rusted. You've been sitting for 2 years. No, but if you are doing something, there are people out there that are watching. And actually, that experience, small experience, it's a stepping stone for someone else to see you. And they can actually give you that platform that you needed. And another thing that actually caused a lot of unemployment in our country, as you all know, is COVID. COVID made a huge impact, negative impact in our lives. Most companies, as you know, closed down. People are working from home. They want you to work on your cell phone. They want you to work on your laptop. You cannot go to offices anymore. Offices have closed down. People have lost jobs. So all those things combined, they actually created a huge unemployment in our country. But then what are the impacts of unemployment in our communities? I think one of the things you and I can agree on is crime rate. Crime rate has soured. It's skyroofed because of that. Those buildings that are vacant because people now can't go and work in them are being vandalized. People cannot use them anymore. It will take huge amount of budget to actually bring them back to normal offices, but that's going to take years. So what are we going to do about that? Because we can't go to offices. The previous speaker spoke about your cell phones. Your cell phone can actually be your office, isn't it? So what you have to do is that go to that catering person and ask that you take their content and post them around the communities. That way, you can actually create job for yourself and for that person. There is somebody doing shoes, making shoes, not Nike, but shoes. Go to that person and say, you know what, every small town has Pep store. I can actually courier your products to that town. You might find that your business actually grows just by posting on social media or Instagram. All these platforms have that platform where you can sell stuff, isn't it? That people can order from you. So if you post somebody's work and then you say this actually is 40 Rand and somebody orders, you see, you have created employment for you and for that person that is making those shoes or chairs in the community without having to leave and go to Joburg for that. But you can sell to someone in Joburg or in Cape Town using your cell phone and social media. Some people have data. They call them midnight data. During the day, they don't work, but at night, they work. So that means you become a night owl. That is your job. You work at night. In the morning, you wake up, package whatever product, take them to PEP, and sell them. Do you understand that? Another thing that we can do is internship. The government has internships. I'm sure some of you guys have heard about internships in companies, big companies, right? Now, I also got internship that the government sent people to us, to teach them how to do work. Now, people are different, but you can tell who's hungry. You can tell who doesn't care. Some people will say, but after this 1 year, I'm unemployed again. But you are wrong. How can you predict the future? Internships are the perfect platform for you to showcase what you can do, for you to put yourself out there, for you to learn the skill. Just because you are getting that stipend doesn't mean it's the end of the world after 12 months. It only means that you have the opportunity to show someone what you are capable of and to learn. The most important thing is that you have to learn. You can either learn a new skill in that company or you can bring in your skill. Now, say for example, you are actually good with social media, right? And then you get in a company that is doing cars, for example. You use your knowledge, your talent, to show the managers in that what you can do. Who knows, they might retain you in that position. Even though you were not in an internship for that, not a marketing professional. But because you have that talent, you can actually now show them that you are actually capable of doing 1, 2, 3. And voila, they actually realize that they need that. So use those kind of opportunities to build yourself, like the previous speaker has alluded. I don't know how the impact of technology has been, but technology is growing a lot. In future, when you come to my practice, you're going to sit on a chair and I plug in a machine and the machine removes your tooth. That technology already exists, not in our country, but it exists. So it only means with time, that technology is going to arrive. So what are you doing with robotic and engineering? Are you sitting fella, passing you by? Are you actually using that midnight data to research about it? What can I do after matric? Ki dutse fela, but can I this midnight data? Let me use it and actually find out what I can do about it. I hope my message is getting across. Government policies actually allow most companies to hire young people and incentivize the big companies for it. I believe that young people sometimes don't know that. So when you go and sell yourself to that company, make them aware or remember, I'm an asset to you. You are going to actually be incentivized by the government for hiring me. So you actually have up until, I don't remember the age, is it 35 or 30, to have me in your company. So use it, know the policies and use them to your advantage in the interviews. Another impact the previous speaker alluded to that actually makes it hard for young people to go look for work is mental health. We compare ourselves too much to a point where we feel depressed. When you get to an interview, you start thinking about, what's our king na higher red light ka di candle. What's about na every now and then because ke tlamehile ke be metsi ko mollong. That shouldn't hold you back. That should actually encourage you because that is what shows how driven you are. If you stay back because other kids that you went to school with that come from better families are going to those interviews, but don't say no. it shouldn't be like that. I don't think while you are sleeping hungry, they can see and laugh at you, but when you have to go out and do something for yourself, you start thinking about ke mang a tlo ntshegang. It shouldn't be like that. Young people, we can change our mindset and we can do everything we need. I mean, including gardening. I was looking at a video on YouTube with a guy that got million views just by transforming gardens without being paid. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but he's now getting paid for it. YouTube is paying him for it because we like next door, ho kopa kopane, a kata, yetsa hantle ntlo e lai, ka matsoho a hae a nka di picture, nka video, and now he's a YouTube celebrity just for doing that. O spendile eng? Zero. Just by using your own hands. Those are the innovations that we can do as well. Okay, I've come to my conclusion. And I'm going to read my conclusion from my phone. Youth unemployment is a challenge that requires collective action. Government, business, educators, and communities must work together to create opportunities for young people to thrive. It starts with me. It starts with my skill. It starts with learning. Let's remember that young people are not just leaders of tomorrow. They are the leaders of today. Let's work together. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Dr. Theola. Thank you. Now, we spoke about youth unemployment. We also spoke about mental wellness. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the effects of joblessness on our mental health. Mental health there how. To do that, help me to welcome on stage. I'm calling the panel now. And please, you guys need to take part by listening and asking questions. Ne? Help me to welcome on stage. Actually, we're welcoming her back on stage. Maybe Tumelo Molongwana. Let's give her a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. From the Free State Department of Health, Realeboa. We also call on stage the dietitian, Pozia Johnson. Let's give her a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Life coach, Hauchelo Putwani. Let's give her a big round of applause. A clinical psychologist, Puleng Masedi. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, please, monarkopa attention how. Because the effect of joblessness in our mental health. To facilitate this conversation, help me to call again Therapist Yama 2000. Let's give her a big round of applause, Bafetu.
Molweni, once again, I'm going to invite everybody to listen this time around and write your questions down, because I would like you to engage. Empower has loved you so much to bring you these wonderful, beautiful ladies. Empower, where are the men? Muhammad Doda athetha mental health, because there's men in the house. Gents, don't you feel left out? Hey, Papa Budi, to protect us. But thank you so much. So what I will do, I'm gonna ask our guests to give us a little bit about them so that we get to know you. 2 minutes of who you are, 2 minutes of fame, and then we'll engage into the topic. We are speaking about serious things that are affecting our young people, so it's important to know you first. And yeah.
Hi guys. How are you? How guys, how are you? Are you guys good? Okay. Okay, my name is Kaugelo Putwani, and I am a life coach. I'm here in the capacity of a life coach, and I have my life coaching business called Khosi Life Coaching, where we do life coaching work, where we do speaking gigs. So I do a lot of key note speaking events, and I also do corporate wellness facilitating. I also am a speech therapist and audiologist by profession at the Far East Rand Hospital, and I'm also a postgrad psychology student. And I think what has brought me here is I am a survivor of mental health disorders, a suicide attempt survivor, and yeah, and I'm an entrepreneur by chance because of my passion and purpose. So yeah, thank you. I'm really glad to be here.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm too loud, ne? Okay, so my name is Fauzi Jansen. I'm from Heidedal in Bloemfontein. So I'm a registered dietitian. I work at the Department of Health. Then I also own my own private practice. So I'm available in government and private. Then also, I just also want to share this with you guys so that when I present, you keep in mind that I understand the challenges that you go through, right? Okay, so before I get there, I also have a master's degree. I work at the University of the Free State as well as a lecturer. So I am also a survivor of sexual abuse as a child. I've also had suicide attempts. I've also lost my mother at a young age. I've also suffered from addiction. I've been sober for 6 years. So, so guys, really, I want you to understand that despite all of these things, you could still come back and you could still sit on this panel and talk, ne? You can always come back from anything. So that's my story. So just remember that when I'm talking. Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Josie.
Good afternoon again. I'm Butumelo Dichabe Molongwana. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Free State Medical Depot in the Department of Health. And I'm also a member of the National Essential Medicines List Committee, past president of the South African Pharmacy Council, vice president of the South African Pharmacy Council. And yes, Kingwana Blomo, Kingwana Haumama. I'm a mother of 3. I can't really say teenage pregnancy, but I had my firstborn at 20. She's now 30 years, Kingwana Mandela. She's also a pharmacist, by the way, so yes, you can always recover back from failure and make it in life.
Sumit.
Dumelang. Le kae? Nna ke ngwana Motswana. Ke tlhaga Northwest, mare ke kopetswe ko Free State. So nou yana ke ngwana Free State. I'm from Bloemfontein. My name is Puleng Masedi. I'm a clinical psychologist. I work for the Department of Health, and I also work with Mare Fauzi at Morocco Hospital. I also have a private practice at Botshabelo and Bloemfontein. I work with Dr. Mabelani. Sure. There's a lot. I am a PhD candidate. I am an academic author, meaning I have published journals. I am, before joining Morocco, last year, August, I was in the military. So I was a psychologist in the military as well. And then, yeah, basically that's me. And we will talk during the dialogue.
Wow. I think you guys related. Did you guys relate to something? Just on the introduction, I'm sure you're sitting there and you're relating. And it's so amazing how we did the previous session on relate, and then we sit here with panelists that are relating to the stories that I've shared, but their stories are real. And I'm going to tap not only yours first, because you spoke about unemployment. And today we are empowering young people about the difficulty of not being employed and going through all these mental stages and problems. How did you deal, or how did you even get to this? What happened here? Because I believe you were sexually abused, suicidal thoughts, addiction. We spoke about drinking when you have your problems, and there's someone who's evidently saying, I went through that. How did you even get there?
So I think I was just demotivated. I got to a point where I felt like I'm applying, I'm sending 20 CVs, I'm not getting an answer. You go to interviews, you get rejected, and you start internalizing these things, and you think like, I'm not good enough, because now I'm sending CVs, I'm not getting an answer, right? So that just brought me down. And then you have family members that are saying, this one, she doesn't work. This one is unemployed. About these things so much, right? And that's what we do. But luckily, to some people that motivated me again. So I had to surround myself with people that wanted me to succeed. So I would surround myself with people that said, no man, you're gonna get a job, keep on applying. I even went to a 12-step program. Guys, there's places like Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous. They are free, where you go to meetings and you talk to other people that struggle with addiction, and they teach you how to stop drinking. They show you, how can I stop drinking? How can I stop buying Adcodols over the counter and popping Elachex? You know, these are the things that we do. How do we stop that? So I had to get a support system. I also every day had to take it one day at a time. If somebody told me 6 years ago that you're not gonna drink, I was gonna be like, it's impossible. Because when you're addicted to something, it feels like you can never leave it, right? So I had to take it one day at a time. But if I can just leave you with a short answer, you need to surround yourself with people that want you to succeed. Friends, stay away from the friends. Stay away from that family members that are negative. If they're talking, don't engage, walk away. Do not even mix yourself with such things. Supportive environment. Look for organizations like AA, like NA. I can share the details with you afterwards. You are welcome to come and ask me. You can even take my number. I can connect you to these things, and that is what you need to do.
Thank you so much. Wow, guys, wow. And I want you now to keep a note. I want us to understand why dietitian, and how can that connect with your mental health? Why are being told about diet and all of that? And because you're into that space, and your journey probably might have led you to be even a dietitian, we don't know. But I want you to keep that in mind, because that's what we want to tap into. I'm going to tap into your brain as well, because your introduction shared so much, that's so deep. Is that okay? So suicide. I think when we speak about suicide, nobody wants to say, I've been there. Nobody wants to sit and say, I've once been suicidal. And we're looking at a professional, somebody who is into the space, a life coach, and he says, I've been suicidal. How did you even get there? And how did you get out?
You know, it's not very flattering for a life coach to sit and say, you know, I've struggled with mental health my entire life, and I have survived it, and I'm surviving and thriving, but there are days I still struggle, and I'm very open and very transparent about that journey. So my first suicidal attempt was at 13, and it's something that my family and myself for many, many years have blocked out of our story, you know, because it's embarrassing, particularly for the Black family. And my second one was at 16, and it was just because didn't feel like I wanted to be there anymore, right? And I couldn't talk about it because I have a bubbly personality, you know, I'm very happy all the time. And my last attempt was at 23, all right? And that's when I decided to actually get help. So I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, chronic major depression, and chronic anxiety. To this day, I still take medication, and that's a big part of the reason why I'm still thriving today. So there's no shame in taking medication. There's no shame in doing everything that you have to do to make sure that you are 100%. So what I started doing actually is I started owning my story. I started being very unapologetic about it. And I started leaning on the people that wanted to be there and wanted to help me out. And the crazy part about it is until you decide that you are ready to get help, nothing is going to change. My mom took me to psychologists from 13, 16, 21. And at 23, I took myself there because I realized if I don't do anything about it, I'm going to die, right? Suicide is going to be the last symptom of the depression and the mental health issues that I was having. And I started getting help, and that literally actually led to my life coaching career. It led to me going into psychology and studying it and doing my postgrad. And the dentist that spoke now, actually tapped so much into my story when she was talking about the lawn mowing guy or the plant guy. I was like, oh my gosh, actually that's so similar. Because in me sharing my story and in me putting myself out there and in me owning my story and being vulnerable and loving all those parts of myself and embracing them and forgiving that girl that tried to kill herself and loving her and protecting her and speaking up for her and sharing my journey. I also have an NPO, a mental health NPO called Not Alone, where we offer a safe space for people affected by mental health. So you give me your numbers, I put you in the group, and we support each other on the day-to-days of living with mental health disorders. And in doing that, that led me to starting that's why I call myself an accidental entrepreneur. You know, because I started talking, and that led to people saying, do you want to come facilitate? Do you want to come to my company? Do you want to come speak to this group? And then people going, can I speak one-on-one with you? And I was like, okay, I need to do something. Let me study psychology. Let me get a life coaching course. And the business grew, and I'm doing it now. I always say I have 2 full-time jobs, you know, because it's growing. And because people relate to me and people are seeing that I'm coming from a very compassionate and what's the word? Sincere point of view, because I've lived it. When I tell you that if you get a routine, if you keep pushing, if you literally show up for yourself every day, you can come out on the other side of mental health. You can literally create a whole new reality for yourself. I've lived it. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
And I think that's why she became a life coach. So please keep that in mind, because I want everybody to understand, how does life coaching connect with my mental health? Why do I need a life coach? In fact, what is a life coach? So why is it important to even go through the journey of being coached by somebody in this life? I think you are sitting there as a psychologist, a clinical psychologist, literally judging everything in your head and be like, yo, where do I even start? I'm kidding, we don't judge people. But as a psychologist, clinical psychologist, hearing these stories, these 2 beautiful ladies going through the most, life, 13, there's no 13-year-olds here, but I said we must relate, because maybe some of us started feeling what we are feeling today at 13. Maybe some of us were raped at 13. Maybe some of us went through a lot of spaces of being abused at 13. And we are sitting here today so strong, and we don't know how to get out of it. Psychologist, Sis Puleng, please share with the beautiful crowd how to get out of that space when there's no money, there's no food. You don't even have money for therapy. You don't even have an opportunity that will give you a life, and you're sitting at home. And all these problems that they are speaking here, they are affecting you. Now, I need to take a young person out of that shell. Now, I'm giving you that opportunity to now, please navigate us out of that space.
You know, especially with Tabanchu, because I work here, so I work a lot with youth. And one of the increasing mental illness, you know, it's depression. and it relates a lot with suicide attempts. So it has even become a norm that I don't even see OPD patients, meaning your outpatients, on Mondays, because we know that Mondays, something during the weekend happens, and then there's a suicide attempt, and you will have like a lot of stats from it, you know. I want to touch a little bit in terms of the mental illnesses, you know, the psychological effect that comes up, you know, with related to unemployment, you know. Youth experience a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety. They would experience being socially isolated, you know, and sometimes wanting support and not wanting to be isolated, but no one being there for them. One of the major things that we deal now is the life, the expectation of the current and the now, whereby youth today, there's pressure, man. There is pressure because I remember one day a patient said to me, you know what, Mama Seti, I know we should be grateful because we are youth that have everything at hand, you know. Everything is at our disposal in terms of opportunities, education, and everything. But then they forget that we have parents that came from very traumatic backgrounds. They don't know much about mental health. There's a stigma, you know, around mental health in our Black communities. So it's a bit of a challenge, you know, for them now to just grab the opportunities that they have, because already the mental illnesses is playing a role, such as traumas, you know, such as your parental styles that are more authoritative. Like in my case, I came from a home where my dad was in the military as well. So you can imagine the intensity of overachieving. And sometimes you deal with it in a way that you need to make sure you do, you know, the best, and the best is the best according to what your parents think. So now you end up feeling like a failure, you know, you end up experiencing a lot of anxiety, you don't want to disappoint anyone at home. You have pressures where parents, they say things like, you know, you must make sure you use it. And then when you get to your first semester and you're studying, for example, and you see, this is not really, teaching is not for me. Then you're from teaching, then you go from second year, then you go to third year, and then at some point now you are a teacher, but it's not what you want. So now a lot of things affects them in that sense. But then in sessions, when we have those patients who present with those symptoms, we don't only look at the symptoms alone, we look beneath the symptoms as well. We look at your childhood traumas, you look at how you were raised, we call it your childhood experiences, you know. We use models, therapy models such as CBT, where we say that majority of how you are, you know, in terms of cognitively, is always influenced by your childhood history. So now when you come from a background like me, where financially it was not that good, but your dad managed, you know, with he's the only income in the house, and then you're given that pressure of you need to do best, you need to perform. Once you get to your honors now, where like with us, you didn't even get any employment, you had to go for your master's, and master's is very competitive, there's a lot. So now there was a time where I even had a gap year, and I feel that was very frustrating for me because now I felt like I was failing. But because of what? Because of my childhood experience of parents putting too much pressure on me. So even in our session, we look a lot on childhood traumas. And we navigate in a sense of you understanding why is it so intense for you when the next person is also experiencing unemployment, but for you it's a bit different, you know. We navigate in the sense of what would work for you in terms of modalities, because we work with different modalities, I guess. So now it gets to a point also where we look in terms of your coping skills. What are your coping skills that you've been using? You know, someone would say, no, my coping skills is I confide a lot in my friends. And then when you hear the friends actually, they are in backgrounds where they are okay, you know. And then you get friends where the influence now in terms of, I'm a blesser. Like, you know, no, there's blessers, so there's no problem. And then we say, but now your coping skills that you're using, it is healthy and it can be healthy as well, but it depends who you communicate with. You understand? So those are the things. And then we look at the practical things, like your behavioral therapy things, like your gym, you know, your mindfulness techniques, you know. People take for granted coloring, just coloring, you know. There's this adult coloring books that we always encourage patients to use, where you just be in the present. Because remember, your anxiety, your depression comes with the fact that you are surrounded by what's happening and not focusing on what do I have now, what can I appreciate now. Okay, there's life, I'm still breathing. Okay, there was a suicide attempt that I did last week, but at this point, I did not die. So there's a reason why, you know, in terms of spiritually as well, because in psychology, we don't only focus on Western education of mental health and your biology. We look in that sense of your spiritual side, your traditional side as well. That's what I love about psychology, is that we take you as you are, and we go through the journey with you. And with Tabanchu, there's a lot of opportunities that the government has provided with the unemployed youth, such as, like me now being a psychologist at Moroka. Yes, I'm the only psychologist, but we're managing because now we have registered counselors in the primary, you know, departments like your clinics. You have your social workers that we work very close with, you know, in terms of if they don't understand certain patients, they can discuss them with me, and then we work within our scope of practice. Yeah, so your mental health services are at your disposal in Tabanchu. So that's a nice part. Then you have your private practice, like I said, I'm in private practice as well, where you don't want to wait in long queues and you want to go at your own convenience, where you can see a psychologist there, you know. And it's very important to understand that it's okay not to be okay.
I hope Nilalele. Are you not expensive? Hold the thought. I think we're speaking about youth unemployment, and it's good to ask that question, to say, you want me to come speak to you, but can I afford to come speak to you? But we will tap on that. But what I want you to come back with now is, how does one know that I need to go speak to a therapist, to a psychologist? You're sitting at home doing those job applications, not getting that job, no money. How do you know that I've reached the peak? Because already you're speaking about people that are already coming to you because they've reached the peak. But how do I know, sitting right here, that Ngiyagoa serious? I don't want to come to you when I'm breaking, when I'm done. I want to come to you before the suicidal. Am I correct to ask that question? And I come to you before I break. How do I know? How can I check in?
You check in terms of knowing a lot about mental illnesses. You know, people don't really know that actually me not eating, me not sleeping enough, it's also part of the symptoms of depression. People don't know that me being isolating myself, you know, it's also one of the symptoms of depression, you know. You get to a point where, even with anxiety, we all get anxiety at some point. Going to a job interview, you know, wanting something, you know, and you're like, will it come together? But then there's that phase where your anxiety now starts affecting your functioning. So mental illness becomes a problem when your functioning, your daily functioning is affected. Yeah. For example, when now you cannot cope at school, maybe you're still studying, but now you're trying to balance, you know, getting a job as well while you continue with studies. Socially, you know, you don't want to be around people. At home, you just become very irritable, which relates with depression. And then you get to a point where you're just demotivated and you just get tired, you know. You just feel, maybe you'll just say, no, maybe I'm just tired from going around and applying. But then when you check in, it's actually also the emotional tiredness that you're also experiencing. So that's where you start checking in, when you read a lot about these mental illnesses, when you find out information. Like I always say with me, my door is always open. Even if you don't have, you know, an appointment, you can easily just come and inquire and say, don't you have pamphlets or something that I can read on to just find out more about these mental illnesses? Maybe a friend has it, or maybe a neighbor has it. So it's very important to know a lot about mental illnesses, but know that your depression symptoms, you isolate yourself, you have anhedonia. People don't understand. I used to enjoy watching TVs and movies when I'm home and there's no one to talk to, but now I don't enjoy it anymore. You know, you start losing interest in things that you used to enjoy. You start being forgetful. You know, concentration gets affected a lot. And then with anxiety, I also say to patients, that's why the doctors end up bringing them to me, because sometimes it can be very physiological. You can experience like your headaches, severe headaches. You can experience muscle tensions, and you just feel like, no, man, my body's just stiff, like my whole body's in pain. But then when they go and do radiology, when they go to check, there's nothing. When they go, do your medical examination, there's nothing. It's because now it's more psychological. And you have even those mental illness called conversion disorders, somatic disorders, where you can be stressed, but you are not going to feel it, but your body is going to deteriorate. So now when you see the doctor, don't be reluctant when the doctor says there's nothing wrong, but let's tap into your stresses, what's happening, allow that moment so that the doctor can refer you, yeah.
So I relate to that. Me, I like being practical. Sometimes, lamakama, they can go in our heads. 2018, I told myself that I'll never be as huge as my aunts. My aunts bane hips and all of that. And I'm like, my aunts are not taking care of themselves. When I grow up, I don't want to be like them. But there was a time in my life where I did not see how my stress is getting higher and higher and higher. I used to work at court. So I'll come wearing itake in a tracksuit and then give the court report to the magistrate. And I didn't even care whether I'm dressed the part or not. There is your lawyers, there is all these, hot people. And I'm there with a tracksuit and a take. I cared nothing. Until I looked at myself in the mirror, I'm like, woo, Dabs. Dabs, why also? Then I realized that, okay, the things that I used to love, which is dress up, looking good, high heels, showing up, they've left me. Meaning now depression was kicking in. That's how I checked in. So I think what Udoc is trying to say is to say, know yourself better, understand yourself so that you are able to check in, this is not normal. Why am I doing it beyond and above? And why am I tapping into the space that I shouldn't be? Mampoit, you are working into the health space. CEO. Our expectation is for us to have wellness programs into our communities, programs that are not a taboo, programs that when and I'm sure some of us didn't come today because they saw mental health. They were like, mental healthy. Today. not as ordinary people, because it's a taboo topic. It's not something that we don't want to talk about it. So you're working into that department, and do you think that the department is doing enough to bring that awareness into it, Abanju, to say mental health is important and this is what you should do in order for you to be a well young person, even if you are not employed, even if finances are not going your way?
Yes, I'll start with the employees because I manage an institution. So with our employees, we do have employee wellness programs. When as a manager, you start seeing your subordinates behaving in a certain way, absenteeism is one of the signs that there could be mental health issues. Overreaction to comments or criticism is an indication that there's something that the person is dealing with. It says, hurting people hurt people. Yeah. And that is how you start identifying that your subordinates are having a challenge. In most instances, you'll also find that our other healthcare professionals, they are burnt out. This person would, because of financial challenges, this person would be working in the hospital during the day, and at night they're moonlighting or whatever. So they don't have time for their bodies to recover. They don't have that time to be out. As I indicated, we are spirit, soul, and body. And I think doctor said it very nicely to say, the physical one, it means you need to take the medicines. Yeah. The soul one means you need to find somebody to talk to. The spiritual ones means you need to find somebody, a higher deity or spiritual being that is accessible to you to be able to talk to. I talked about the Holy Spirit. You can talk to God directly, so that you have that outlet. So three approaches in terms of taking care of your mental health. And as most of the time, you find that even us as CEOs, I think I'm also going to say, the last 9 months until May, I was booked off mental health issues. And in most instances, as I said, hurt people. And it was subordinates who are bleeding onto you as a leader, because you obviously have expectations. We are expected to deliver medicines out to the patients or to the clinics, and you are trying to push them a little to say you need to work overtime. You need to not be walking around, and there's that vitriol that you get because you're placing an expectation on your subordinates to show up, because we are at work to show up. And as a result, you yourself end up being a victim of bullying and harassment. So there is a need for all specters. It doesn't matter. Mental health issues are not they don't choose your social status, they don't choose color, they don't choose gender. It is there, and it's something that we need to deal with. And obviously, you yourself need to have those triggers that you identified to be able to show up to say, okay, now I need help, I need to step back, I need to create boundaries, and also have access to those services that are available in our facilities and in all the departments. In all our institutions would have employee wellness programs that we embark on. If it's Easter, we'll have our prayer sessions during this time of the year. Heritage, we'll be celebrating heritage, end of year functions. So in our institutions, we do have programs that will then enroll our subordinates on or our staff on to be able to access services. So that also through their medical aids, and there is that incapacity leave that is allowed where your specialist, your psychiatrist, your psychologist can make a recommendation, especially if your environment is toxic. We talk about toxic environments, where environment is a trigger or is the one causing your mental health issues, So that you go recover, get help, and try and see whether are you able to go back to that environment, or do they need to make another way for you as management to create another space where you are able to do your work.
I think what I'm taking from Mampoit is that we pray for workspaces, but we do not pray for healthy workspaces. And also we don't prepare ourselves to be healthy people in those workspaces. And then when we get those jobs, we come in with so much trauma, we come in with so much anxieties and stress, and then the bullyism comes in. But are you okay? Are you okay to be able to deal with those traumas that you're going to experience in that workspace? Because if people can bully a CEO, who are you? Understand? So, sure, relating. Guys, it's a very emotional topic. So, ngikhulume ngabo auntie bami abangaka, because I think I was judging them. My aunties, they eat too much. Dietitian, why is it so important for us to take care of ourselves when we are young people, especially in the community, in the societies, in the spaces, in the environment, and the TikToks, and the Facebooks, and the life that we are living? Why is our body so important? Why should we take care of it? Or why is being into diets and all of that important? So give us your work. Tell us the importance of your work so that we can relate and understand why.
Okay. I don't know. Okay. So guys, I quickly just want to throw it out there. Quickly, just one person or two people. What do you think a dietitian does?
Yeah, dietitians work with food. How we balance our food for our health.
Okay. Thank you, Nate. Thank you. Okay. So yes, we dietitians work with nutrition with your food, right? But I know most people sitting in this room think that dietitians help people to lose weight. And that is what we do, right? So that is not all that we do. There are many diseases out there: kidney diseases, diabetes, high blood, liver diseases, that are caused by food. If you look at the cause of diabetes type 2, it's caused by lifestyle. It's not caused from something outside that happens. Ne? It's because we put things in our body that are unhealthy, that is damaging. It starts damaging the cells of the body. That's when you get disease. So basically we work, that's what a dietitian does. A dietitian also works with patients that maybe got a stroke and now they're not awake and they can't eat themselves. Usually they will be fed with that machine, with the tube in the ICU or site. We also do that, right? So that's what a dietitian does. So a dietitian works with managing diseases, because managing diseases with your nutrition, right? Because we know when you're diabetic, you can't eat like everybody else. There's a specific way to eat, okay? But now in the broader space, why is nutrition important? Guys, processed food. What is processed food? Dibekus, snook, French, kotas, kamban. What else, guys? What else didn't I mention? KFC. I heard there's a stadium in town now. There's a lot, right? So that's processed food, meaning it's not fresh food, it's unhealthy food, right? So processed food, what that does is it damages your body and it damages your brain cells. So sometimes eating unhealthy food every day, it affects your mood. Eating unhealthy increases depression, guys. It increases depression, and it's not even me, it's science. If you go and read scientific articles, you will see that eating unhealthy food damages your body and it increases depression. So what I'm basically saying, guys, I understand we all can't have vegetables. Sometimes there isn't food in the house, right? Sometimes there's just pap and morogo that you're just taking from outside, or samukopu, or sometimes on Sunday you do 7 colors and it's the only time you see vegetables, right? But my point is just that we need to eat more healthy. We need to get more fresh fruits, more vegetables, right? We need to eat more healthier proteins. When I speak of proteins, I speak of chicken, fish, and I'm not talking expensive fish like Boma salmon, lady oysters, ocean basket, right? Like Lucky Star, it's fine. Bullshit, it's fine. You understand? So I'm not saying, so eating healthy does not mean you must eat rice cakes and salads and you're going to eat like, like white people, sorry. Ne? Sorry if there's a white person, I just mean there's that misconception in the black community that when you eat healthy, you must have a lot of money and you must have like salad the whole time. I'm going to be eating green salad, dry chicken. It's not nice. So that's not what I'm saying, right? So what we're saying is there was actually a picture that I wanted to show, but I think maybe it can't be the IT department, but it's okay. There was actually a picture I wanted to show you how you can dish your plate where you can still eat your pap, you can still eat your stump, but you're not going to dish the whole plate, ne? Yes, because usually when you look at your plate now, when you go home, most of the plate is pap. Then there's maybe one or 2 teaspoons of veg, and then you put the meat on top of the pap. Even the food is even falling off the plate. The way the pap is just dominating that plate, right? So I'm saying to you, we just need to decrease that amount of starch, the portion sizes, and we need to get more fruits and vegetables. Guys, if you're unemployed, fruits and vegetables, what about a vegetable garden? If you don't have money for seeds, when somebody's cooking butternut, I get it that seeds in the butternut. You take those same seeds, you will plant them, you will get butternut again. If you don't have money for seeds, right? Yeah. So these are all of the things that you can do. But we need to decrease the amount of unhealthy foods that we're eating. The cool drinks, the tweezers, the cokes, all of those things, they must fall, because they are making you sick, guys. And we are seeing that people that are 28, 29, 30, I'm seeing them every day. They're being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, high blood, cholesterol. You are 30 years old, strokes. You are 25, why are you having sugar? Do you understand? And you are doing that to yourself. But don't feel bad if you have sugar. It will help you still, But if you don't have it, let's prevent.
Thank you, Doc.
So I just want to say, encourage that. Try to eat less takeaways. Try to do more fresh fruits and vegetables. Even if it's just a mokopu, a morogo, like use the street vendors in town. It's not expensive. Buy vegetables in bulk. then you have a lot, you know, when you maybe go to Bloom or so, but decrease the takeaways, decrease all of those things. Guys, those things affect your mood. I promise you, if you decrease your sugar, your scones, your debekus and all of those things, you're gonna feel better. Like your body is gonna feel better, you're gonna feel lighter.
Oh, thank you
And
so much.
yeah.
Yeah. Guys, it's a lot and our time is like, yo, are you guys sure you want to continue? But thank you so much. I think what's important, we need to acknowledge that what we feed our bodies affects how we feel. So whatever you feed yourself, you might wake up tired and not be able to go out and look for that job, or even feel confident to show up because you've fueled your body with things that are not giving you the energy to be fresh and happy. Trust me, when I wake up and I run 5 kilometers, my day is beautiful because I've just traumatized some few things. Ma'am, before we close with this session and everybody's just going to give like your last exit because our time is against us. Life coach, why must everybody who's sitting here get a life coach? Why is it important for a young person who's not even employed to say, I need to be coached?
You need a plan. You need a plan. You cannot go through life bloating, right? I think the misconception about life coaching is that, number one, it's a white people thing. I think when people hear life coaching, they go, well, I don't need it, right? The second misconception about life coaching is we do what psychologists do. That is not true, right? Psychologists treat the actual disorder, they treat the actual problem. So if you have depression, you see a psychologist and they balance you basically. They make you stable, né? And then that is what we call survival mode. Né? But now you need a plan moving forward. So what we do is we help you navigate towards your best self. Because in life, in order to achieve anything, you need a plan, right? You need to know, okay, that's my long-term plan. This is where I am now. How do I fill that gap? And what life coaches basically do is we help you with the action steps of going there. Like, who's going to help you do it? How are you going to do it? Your timeline. Like, basically an operational plan of your life. And holistically, so we look at you holistically, like emotionally, mentally, financially, spiritually, friends, family, money, so it's holistic. And the beautiful part is, if you want to go into it, it doesn't just end with individuals. Like, I barely work with individuals now. I work more with corporate, because corporate people go, okay, our employees are not happy. How do we get there? Again, long-term plan, where are you now? Action steps, right? And guys, let me tell you, honestly, follow your dreams, find out what you want to do, have a plan for that, and as soon as you do, life will help you figure it out. So if you want to go into life coaching, it's a very lucrative business right now. So,
guys, very important. Neville, it's important to have that plan in life. It's important to understand whether you're in the right direction or not. It's important to understand, why are you even doing this? And then you're demotivated without somebody being accountable too. I think I call my life coaches my accountability partner, because they're going to ask, did you achieve something at least? If there's nobody asking you, did you achieve something, then you're just walking and working and doing. So I'm going to take only 3 askies. Okay, noted, done. So 3 people. Before those 3 people, please make it really, really short, specific, to the point, directed to exactly who you want it to go to. And when you answer, please also say your keynote closure. So when you answer, you say your keynote closure as well, so that we are able to close nicely. Question?
Hi, hello. Is it on? Okay. My name is Whitney. I am a founder of a charity here in Tabanchu that works with mental health and academia. What I would like to know is, how do I go about getting mentorship to get my charity to where I want it to get? Because I'm not done with my studies yet. I'm studying psychology. So I want to know that when I'm helping these kids, because I only work with under 18s, kids who are still in the school environment and kids who have given up on academics, I'm helping them be aware of health and wellness, especially mental health, because I'm also a mental health survivor, and I also live with mental health on a daily basis. So I need mentorship. I need professionals behind me who are going to help me and make sure that I am doing the right things with these kids, because they're at a very impressionable age right now. Thank you.
Okay, we'll keep that in mind. I'll respond with mentorship. Second question.
Good day, everybody. My name is Tseho, and I have questions, but I'll just keep it short because this is a very sensitive topic today for me. I have degrees, yabo, and I'm stuck. And there's nothing I haven't done to make sure that I succeed in those degrees. You see, I studied social sciences, okay? I had an interest in psychology, and then I had my honors done as well. And then when I got to honors, they tell me, no, you need HPCSA. Now I have to go back to school for that. I have to study this thing. Now there's no money. Okay, I go to Department of Health. How can you help me? No, you need an internship. But your internship, you need accreditation from your school. Your school should allow you to do that internship. By the way, now school is finished. It's finished now. So what I'm trying to say is that I feel stuck. And then there's depression on top of being stuck. And there's no money for a dietitian. I have to buy those food that I have to eat. So it's just piling up. Yeah. You see? So I don't know. I don't know now.
Sure. And I think you're not the only one. Oh, wow. The third hand. Where's the third hand?
Dumelang, ke Nami Pone. Ke ne ke kopa ho botsa, well, my question is directed to Mepuleng because ke sa re Ausbusi o botsitse the question, are you not expensive? Okay, I'm not looking for a private consultation or what. When we see the signs of depression and anxiety, sometimes we notice. And sometimes we bona mo ngwaneng kapa wa e bona ho wena, and then you take a step. Personally, nkile ka e bona on my daughter. I have a 17-year-old daughter, and then I took her to the hospital. I think I met you specifically, and then I was told to go back to the clinic and then to go to school and whatnot. Sometimes when we go to our clinics and we meet the social workers or the sisters, you're just making it up. In 2016, I was suicidal. And then it's actually embarrassing to say this, but it's fine, it happened. And then I had to meet a psychologist. She was like, oh, ungrateful. You know, so kana ko yengwe o tla boya ho mme wa hao khotsa ho mang ho moruti a tlo ya encourage to kana ko ngala bona bo baruti. And then how fihla mo mothane o yetsa worse hona lora a o thuse o nka ngwana wa mo isa clinicing like o no jore ke tshwantse ke sumulle clinicing, and then how fihla mo ha le thuse bana eng you know sometimes ho jwang. So I mean lo ena sa fa sokola, you're struggling o feel hore mara ena yona e hloka a professional motho ke tlameng ke ya clinicing ke go kila bana like o jona le practice ya, but we cannot afford it a re sebetseng. Can I deal with matata aga a mental ka bonna without going to a doctor? Because honestly it's a journey.
Sure.
And already I don't even want to wake up in the morning.
Sure.
So having to go from mona le mane and still you're not getting help.
Thank you.
So can I do it on my own? Yeah. Like phone, can I do it ka phone ya ka?
Okay. Thank you so much for that question. Do you want to answer? Thank you for the questions, ladies. We appreciate so much. We're going to give over to Auspuleng, our doctor, just to cover that mental side of things. What do you, I think on both as well, the one who's looking for a job, who's got all the degrees and all of that, or you want to answer that as a life coach. So please answer our third question.
Okay. Remember with every system or every institution, there's a system, ne? And there's a channel in terms of where you need to go. So most of the time, like even in private, you can't go to a gynae before. You have to start by the GP, I get. Then when you find out that you are pregnant, then the GP now refers you to the gynae, I get. So now even with us, unfortunately, it works the same way because we get audited by HPCSA. So when you get audited by HPCSA, you need a referral, you know, from the clinics because now remember, the hospital also has its own system in terms of the patients that they have to see, I get. So now when you have that referral from the clinics, it also helps us in terms of the physical parts, whereby the reason why we say you start at the clinic, it's because the nurses or the doctors at the clinic needs to rule out medical conditions first. Because sometimes, let's say for example with diabetes, ne? If mutantate anali diabetes, I get it, we know they can also experience low libido. I get it. Now it gets to a point along, even in depression, there's low libido as well. So now I'm busy treating a patient, you know, working with the depression. There is a medical condition there that needs to be ruled out first. Ne? So now the challenge is just that there's, what do you say? Our system employees are burnt out. They're very tired, you know. They get to a point where you can be very passionate and very driven when you start in a workplace, and then when there's a lot of channels, and like the CEO said, even with her experience, her own pressure from people above her, do you understand? So now it becomes a problem with them emotionally when they have to now provide the professional services. I'm not speaking for them, but I'm trying to be now a psychologist, being empathetic in their part. But now from my side, normally I would tell patients, or normally our patients would go to the clinic, and if they don't get assistance, they would directly come to me. And I would want the specific nurse that you spoke to, because I don't want them to reprimand the nurse, but normally what I do, I educate the nurse. I check in with the nurse. I teach the nurse how to now go back to your basic patient, you know, your popular principle, your compassion, your bond, and maybe checking in, it's maybe that's what they need at that time. And then once that is done, then I ask you to go back, unfortunately, because I need that referral. And then you bring that referral with. So normally when you struggle at the clinics, please come directly to me, and then we'll make a plan. But now, I work very close with the registered counselors, so they also assist there. So if you get to and they started now, I think September. So they also help a lot in terms of getting the referrals, and then if they can assist you, or if your mental illnesses, you know, are not in their scope of practice, then they refer to me to the hospitals. Yeah, sure. So don't just give up from the initial intervention or initial starting point of getting help. But I think I can understand, because it gets very frustrating in terms of the motivation and drive. It takes a lot for someone to get up in the morning and say, I'm going to get help, or I need help. So now when you get into a situation like that, it's very discouraging for you as well. And then I cannot speak for the psychologists, but one thing I always tell people, there's second opinions in medically. I get it, today you see this doctor, and then you have the right and say, no, I don't want to see this doctor. It's in your right. So even if you see a psychologist, you know, you say, is there other psychologists that I can see? And then you terminate in a sense of you giving them feedback so that they can also reflect on, but now you're losing the whole profession now.
Thank you,
So
Doc.
you always make sure that you ask for a second opinion, and don't be afraid to do so. Sometimes I have patients where they struggle with seeing me because I'm a female and ke motho wa ntate. Then we make means by making sure that I get motho wa ntate to see the patient, but whether it's us referring outside.
Thank you. Exit words, motivation, exit words.
Please
one
take care
second.
of your mental health. Ne? Self-care is very important. Please go to your psychologist, please go to your therapist, because sometimes o tla nagana gore no mama ka ke motho strong so le nna ke tshwantse ke bekezele, you know. Sometimes your mom passes on and you're like my mom would be so disappointed because I'm breaking down. Ke tshwantse ke nne strong like ene, but most of the time it doesn't work that way. You need help, you need support. So any form of support that you can get, please, 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 please use it.
Thank
And
you,
the other
Doc.
thing as well is with psychology, I think the lady also explained that there's a need for psychologists. So if you guys can go back to school and do it, you know, please do it. It might be a challenge where I also face challenge like the lady there, where I had to take a gap year because now I couldn't get in masters. But sometimes it's because there's certain internal works that we need to do. Because when you go for the panel of interviews, or when you see, you know, when they go through your paper selection with all the personal history that I ask you, they also search, I gotta get the psychologist, they search for things that they can see more there's unresolved internal conflicts that you still need to work on. So it doesn't mean that you were not qualified or you can't be a psychologist. It's that there's certain things that you need to before you get into that space. Because imagine how we made it and then there's someone else.
Thank you,
Otang.
Doc.
It's going to be too much for you personally.
Thank you so much. Take care of yourself and your mental health. Mambo, you're going to respond to the mentorship and also words, 2 seconds.
There are a number of NGOs that you can partner with that can assist you with support. And look out also for individuals, you know, when you have some data, go on to LinkedIn. There are a lot of professionals on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a social platform or social media platform for professionals. And look out for those. There are a lot of professionals who are able to assist. And also our academic institutions. Most of the time they would have interns, you know, that they can pair you up with. You know, go to CAT, go to UOFs, and look for other institutions and indicate what your need is. And don't give up. Somewhere along the way, you will find somebody that can assist you in supporting. We also have a program. I'm sorry if I...
No, you can.
Can I have my last?
Yes.
Okay.
Just your last.
So in terms of managing our mental health, you can remember when I started, I talked about the spirit, soul, and the body. And in those, take care of your body by exercising, you know, being active. And most of the time, it releases a feel-good hormone that we call dopamine. And that dopamine is what medicines are developed to imitate, right? So all the medicines we take imitate our own internal hormones, right? So try and support the release of those hormones in your body to improve your mental health. Do activities, even if you run, you know, at one point, because some of us are sitting all the time in front of a computer or we are in meetings, stand up for 1 minute, just step for 1 minute. Already you start feeling your heart rate going and you're also releasing that dopamine, and it's a feel-good hormone, right? Most of us do that dopamine effect through social media. That is not a healthy way of getting the dopamine, you know, where we engage in other things. So take care of the spirit, as I said earlier. Make sure that you take your medication. There are people who are on medicines but are not adherent to treatment. And as a result, you going back, we talked about the queues. The queues in our facilities are made up by, in most instances, people who are on treatment but do not take advantage of the services that government has. Within my space, the pharmaceutical space, I don't know if you would know, we have a CCMDD program or double up meds program where you don't need to go back to the clinic or the hospital to go collect your chronic medication. When you go to your facility, make sure that you ask the sister, enroll me if you are taking any chronic medication. It can be for mental health or whatever, so that we reduce the number of queues that we see in the facilities, decant patients out of our facilities so that the nurses are available. Because we can imagine when you're seeing one patient 3 times, because this patient is not adherent to treatment, so they keep getting a relapse, you know. So I think it's also important for us to take responsibility of our own health, right? Take the medicines when they are prescribed. And if you don't understand, ask. Thank you.
So guys, nivile kuthiwa take your ARVs.
Yes, please.
Ne? I know it's a taboo topic, but take your ARVs.
I'm available
They will keep you
to help
healthy.
with
Yeah.
adherence if there are any people taking ARVs and they're struggling.
Come on, take
I'm
care
a
of your health, man.
pharmacist. I do step up adherence interventions.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you so much. Before you close, you're the last closure. Life coach, the lady's been studying, getting all these things. You just want to wrap up that answer and then give us your closure as well.
I'm going to tell you something that might be a little bit hard to hear. Ne? You haven't done everything that you could possibly do. I know it feels like it. It feels like you've been at it. But I promise you, you haven't. You haven't done every single thing that is available to you, right? You have so many platforms that you can talk to other people that are doing what you are doing to find out how they got to where they got, right? You said social sciences and psychology, right? Why did you study them? Did you study them to get a job? Did you study them because you're passionate? As soon as you find that answer out, find someone that's doing what you want to do, right? On social media, you can literally find, I actually approached and I started my life coaching business a month after I qualified. There's a lady that, I don't know if you guys know Yvette Rama, something. She's a life coach, she's on TV. I sent her a DM. And I was like, hello, can you please be my mentor? I just qualified. She gave me a call. That lady changed my life in life coaching forever. I did not know anything about life coaching. I just knew I wanted to help people in that regard, right? And you also need to be comfortable with no. Ne? When people say, no, you can't do this, you take that as an opportunity to review your plan, to go, okay, how am I going about this? Okay, what can I change? And stagnation is a beautiful time to go back to the drawing board. To go, what have I tried? What worked, what didn't? And the things that didn't work, what can I do now, right? I started speaking about my mental health journey in 2018. Ne? I was going to speaking gigs and I'm hearing people are getting paid. I'm speaking and no one is trying to pay me because I'm a rookie, no one knows me, no one, until I actually started affiliating myself with people that are doing or are who I want to be or who I aspire to be. I started going into circles where I was networking, people saying, try this, try that, let me talk to this person, let me. Some people were saying, yo, who are you, what? You know what I mean? You need to be comfortable with going out of your comfort zone. And that psychology degree, you can go to UNISA, register, they have postgrad bursaries. I promise you haven't tried everything that you need to try. You haven't. And just because it hasn't happened yet, doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Just keep going, especially when you know this is what I'm supposed to do. That's why I was saying those 2 degrees, find out why you did them. And if they're not for you, do something else. Ne? Find your passion. Life coaching is my passion. Helping people is my passion. And I promise you, things come. You attract. Everything is energetic. Ne? The right people start coming. The right jobs start coming. Once you tap into that. But do not give up. Just because it hasn't happened yet, doesn't mean it's not going to happen.
I feel like you just said your exit.
No, that's not my exit line.
I feel like she just said her exit lines. You know?
My exit line, though, is...
Come, give us your exit lines.
No one is coming to save you guys.
No one is coming to save
no
you.
No one is coming. If you
You
won't
need
do
to
it,
save
it's not
yourself.
going to happen. If you
Come
need
on.
help, get it. If you need something, go get it.
Stop drowning. Thank you. And our last guest to say exit words for us. Thank you.
I also just wanted to share, I'm not going to be long. There was a time when I was unemployed for 2 years with my honors degree before I got my master's. Ne? You know what helped me? I had to humble myself. I waited. I went and I was a waitress for a year. I'm not saying you must specifically be a waitress. What I'm just saying is it gave me purpose just to go somewhere every day and do something. And while I was waitressing, I would apply and apply. And look now, I waited for that year. I was at the SPCA volunteering. I just did anything just to keep busy. And then you still pursue what you want, but then at least it gives you something like, I'm waking up, I'm going. So sometimes as young people, we have degrees in it, we have these things, but we don't want to do humbling jobs in the meantime. I don't want to go pack shelves at ShopRite because what are people going to say? But it's better than sitting at home and getting more depressed. So that is something that also helped me. I also wanted to say dietitians are everywhere in Tabanshu. We work at all the 11 clinics in Tabanshu. Every month there's a dietitian that goes. Mafane, Dinane, Tabanshu, Khao, everywhere. So if you need to see a dietitian, just go to your local clinic or come to Morocco and just say, can I please book a date for when the dietitian comes again and we can see you. Guys, a big problem that I'm seeing in Tabanshu is a lot of people are going for that military program to get into the military, right? But you know, if you are overweight or underweight, the military will not employ you. This month, 5 people lost an opportunity at the military because they were overweight and they couldn't lose weight in time. So you see how those things affect sometimes how you can miss on opportunities because you're not okay. So my lasting words that I just want to say to you, we're here to help you. You can come to Morocco, to the clinics, healthy diet, exercise like May said, because that helps you. And you don't have to go to Virgin Active and lift weights, right? Just walk in the community, create a group and walk together in the afternoon. Do something. But just remember, like she said, nobody's going to save you. I was never going to get sober if I waited for somebody to come and apologize to me that hurt me. I had to take responsibility and I had to say, I'm tired of living like this. I'm going to do something about my life now. We always have a choice. We are not victims in life, right? Life happens, but never say, I'm stuck, this can never be. Like I told you all of these things that have happened to me, but I'm sitting here and I overcome those things. So don't be discouraged, don't give up, don't stop sending CVs, guys.
Come on.
Please don't stop, don't
Sure.
give up.
Give a round of applause. Wow. Wow. I think let's say wow. It was a wow, right? My exit, the way you think psychologically affects the way you feel, which is what you eat, and then it affects the way you act, which is the plan. Did you take that? Wow. The way you think, if you think negative, it's going to affect the way you feel negatively, and it's going to affect the way you act negatively. So we need to think positive so that we feel positive, so that we act positive. But if you're fueling your brains with a lot of, I can't, I won't, not me, not, the body will do exactly that. And the actions and the proof of the results will be exactly what is here. So let's change our mindset. And I hope we related. I hope we gain something. I know there's a lot of questions. We're still around. If you feel like some of them we've triggered, please do come through. I'm going to hand over and thank you so much to our guests. Thank you, Mama. Thank you, Puleng. Thank you, Fauzi. Guys, it's not me. It's Utabo. Utabo te UPH nguf. Fauzi is Pokey. Fauzi. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much, life coach, our baby. This is our baby. Thank you so much, Rauhelo. And a round of applause to everybody and to myself as well. We'll stand here to take a picture.
Thank you, my selector. Thank you. Sure. What a session. I'm sure today we've learned, Buffet, to compassion. We've learned to look at the next person and realize, Hore, they might be going through something. They might be fighting something. Utsamakai, mall, anywhere ukopana le motho, that person is fighting something that you don't know. The only thing that you can do for them is to have compassion. That's the only thing. And I'm very inspired by young people from Tabanchu. My sister there, you inspired me. Ukai sister. Utsuile. You inspired me a lot. My sister, you inspired me a lot. Your story, I'm inspired. Hori Tabanchu. Hona le batho ba lwanang dintwa tse kana tse re sa di tsebeng tsa success. A se dintwa tsa hore o batla ho etsa eng. She wants to be successful and help other people. And this session lastly is helping us to kick away two things. Entitlement, victim mentality. They said nobody's coming to save you. Victim mentality away. Entitlement, next. You've got yourself to save yourself. This session taught me that. After such an emotional session, it's proper to close it off. Again. Ready, Melan? Tatemuruti. Kikupa watermele utlorkwala that session. Katapelo relebo. Thank you. Let's give him a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
We are going to pray. Might not mention this in my prayer. And I know that religious leaders are not well equipped to help you through your mental health challenges. And by religious leaders, I don't mean abefundisi. Those who are in African traditional religious practices, I know no Kobela are not well prepared to help you. So what we have just heard now is that even though mental health is both physiological and spiritual, mental, of course, there is help. And when you come to us, all we can do is hold your hand through it. Probably we don't know much about it, but we are here for you. Says Onobam. Are we together? We are here. Don't hurt yourselves. We are here. And I might not say this in my prayer, but I want you to know that we are here for you. Do not hurt yourselves. Alila gata hoti bagamo polo sitwe mamela Akili jeta akili so bisa Jesu ki moloki waka unkete zibu And Father, we come before you a minute away too, with these words of prayer. But I come to you with the lives of these young people seated here today. I bring them before your throne with all the challenges that they face in their lives, Abanye bawethu ongcwele are about to give up. Abanye, they feel they've done everything. Abanye bawethu namandla, they don't even want to try anymore. But I still come to you. Ndibahoqa Thixo. Ngithi wena bawethu namandla makhulu. You are a restorer of hope. You are a restorer of purpose. You are a restorer of life. Kulabo Thixo wethu namandla who feel that their life is meaningless. Ngiyabasondeza bawethu namandla makhulu. We need you. Abanye bethu do not know that we do, but we need you. Ngokuba siyazi Thixo ukuthi uthe wena you have come so that we may have life and have it in abundance. Some of us are not experiencing that abundance of life because of the mental challenges we face. But we know that you conquered death. Kwathi Thixo ngokunqoba kwakhe ithuna, we gained life. And we might not recognize it, but we know that in you we live and move and have our being. Remind us. When doubt creeps in, Thixo wethu, remind us that you remain God. Remind us when we doubt ourselves that when abawethu namandla you do not doubt us. Remind us even when we curse and cuss at ourselves for the mistakes we have made. Remind us of the love, bawethu namandla, the love that is there, perfect, even when Tina singekho perfect. Remind us that you love us, and we can always come to you. Bawethu namandla makhulu, with everything, with all our burdens. Because uthe Thixo ezwini lakho, come to me all of you who are burdened. Take up my yoke and I will give you rest. And we have come, Thixo, to lay everything at your feet. Sisazi bawethu namandla makhulu, that when we follow you, even our loads become lighter. Lighten their loads, Thixo namandla makhulu. Their loads of unemployment, their loads of hopelessness. Lighten them. Babonakale Thixo abantwana bakho walking light and freely, full of life. Sikwethembile ke Thixo, siyazi uzawusenze lezi zinto nangaphezu kokucela kwethu ngoKristu inkosi yethu. Amen.
Ibamba, bamba mzalwani, huyiza. Iti bamba mzalwani. Cheers. Uduti. Cheers. Woo. A good Lucy how do see fat. Hey. Hey. Ari. Oh, Ari, what's up? Hey. Oh, Masinya, Giri Bamba, Just. Oh, woo. Akelisha pele masoho. Baba mfundisi siyabo. Sibonga kakhulu. Re leboha mantswe a hao ore re tsebe hore le teng. We might not be, you guys might not be teng physically, but ngemithandazo for us and our mental health, re tsebe hore le teng. Siyabo. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving forward. Wandile. Let's welcome on stage Wandile. Ator tshwara ka and ka speedy fail. Uga Wandile. Chesa Wandi. Mniginto yakhe. Thatha lento Wandile. Thatha lento. Ayina bungozi lento. Kuyaphileka.
Where's your father? Where's your father? Where's your first? Hey, where's your teacher? Empower youth. Teacher, empower youth. Teacher, empower youth.
Everyone, we wanna party. Everyone, we wanna party. Ay mar mina nguksabi mina. Mina nguksabi mina. Akimthabini. Liyamuthaba na. Okay, kile bontsha re nkamesa. Kile bontsha nkamesa. Shale anamba le hayi le hayi akanayo lengoma ya. Realewa Wandi, thank you so much Ntwana. Ladies and gentlemen, help me to welcome on stage from Tita Mehari Makali Ramakheteng. Mehari Makali Masoho Mahofi.
Dumelang Dumelang, Tabanchu, dumelang. Aibo, how did we get there? Should I call Wandi back to the stage? Nee. From now on, re tla mmona ka tšhelete. Wandi, re tlo tsamaya mo re ntse tšhelete, nee. Greetings, Tabanchu, hello. Dumelang, Tabanchu, dumelang. Ke a leboha, ke a leboha. As been introduced, my name is Hare Makale Ramakheteng. I'm from Tita. Ke Mosotho. Ne ke nana DJ wa utlwa, ke utlwa ka ha utlwe DJ ntse. DJ ke re ke Mosotho. Ha nkutlwe, empa he ha re yo mo. Mosebetsi wa ka kajeno, ka Sesotho, ha o tlo leboha batho, o so go batho ba tsamaye. Empa ke kopa tle re dumelle hore re tlo leboha, empa ha re le tsamaye, ha re so mo ke to fedile. Ke empa ke tlo leboha on behalf of Tita. Ka baka la sepalangwang, one of our transport modes, e tla ntshia flight ya ka ke ka thuso. Ha nke ke nka etsa sena so ke tlameha go se etsa na rale, ke tla ithola ke tlameha go kganna ya Gauteng, e tla ba mathata ke kgathetse. Allow me to say, re lebohe ntate Modimo. Re lebohe ntate Modimo. It's not by choice, it's not by chance that we are seated in this room today. It is not because re ba bohlale, empa ke mohau wa Modimo. Ke ona mohau wa itseng o re lekane re le batho ba hae. Father, ke kopa o tlo ntumela ha ke nke taba tsa hao. And then ya bobedi, re tle re dumelle re lebohe St. Paul's Methodist Church for hosting us. This was so beautiful. I'm sure you'll all agree with me. You know, immediately how le modumedi, when you step inside the church, you feel God's presence. You feel hore, I'm not going to come here, attend for 3 days and remain the same person. You come here for a reason, you come here for a purpose. And then after that, allow me to also thank Ward Councillor Thabo Mokgotlwane in absentia. For welcoming us and for hosting us and for allowing, because in most places, every time when we approach, you bring something like this to the society, honality pushbacks, or sometimes the agenda is changed, is tweaked, and then we didn't experience that here. And we are very grateful, Galeboa. Allow me to also thank MEC Tate Moses Koketo Makome from Distia for also being there and allowing and coming to bless the event with the presence. I cannot, you can just imagine, we started on Thursday. I cannot single out the speakers, but we had beautiful sessions, starting from day one on Thursday until just now. You will agree with me and you will attest to that we have heard good speakers. And we are grateful to them. We are very, very grateful to them. And we thank God for their lives. And we pray that they may continue ministering. The Christ in me is about to vela now. We also like to thank the exhibitors. We have had various exhibitors. I'm sure during the break times you have engaged with different exhibitors that have been with us from Thursday. We are grateful to them and we are really thankful to them. Allow us to thank Coca-Cola. Hey, some of you got the checks. Those businesses, please, hire anywhere else they are funding. Please, we want to see those businesses. We're going to make a 10. As Tita, we're going to make a 10 in Tabanchu, and we would like to meet those people and make sure that the businesses are actually moving forward. Now, as Tita, as the funder, as one of the 21 seaters, we don't have the physical capacity to actually host this kind of events, to activate this kind of movements, and we rely on our stakeholders. At this moment, allow me to thank EmpowerWorks and the entire team, EmpowerWorks, for pulling out such a beautiful a beautiful event. And not just any other event. It is an event that is aimed at assisting the young people in this, within the village at Tabanchu. And then, ke kopa ke lebohe Tita, hobane o sa ne ka mandate ke kgutlele ntse ke na le mosebetsi. As an employee. We are grateful to Tita as the sponsor, main sponsor of the event. The team Tita, please raise up your hands so that the people can see you. Yes, we are grateful for Tita for actually funding, and our CEO was here on the first day, and all the other team members, now they have left. This is us and the other teams. Now we get to the real business of the day, the important people of this event, which is you, the youth of Tabanchu. I would like you to tap yourself and say, well done. Well done. Especially the youth that attended. Yes, 18 to 35, you're rightfully so. Messio, you asked Rena, at what point do we fund until 35? So we recognize youth from 18 to 35. For those of you, on a serious note, who attended from Thursday until today, well done. Well done. Well done. And most importantly, it is my prayer, it is my hope that you do not just walk here, woke up from your home, walked here to tick a box. Let us just make a promise that this was not a ticking a box activity or an exercise. Hence, I'm saying, if ever you did not get anything out of this event as a whole, we would have gotten information, you would have gotten assistance, you would have gotten advice. So all the stakeholders that were here, they were here to actually assist you, right? So one way or the other, even those who got in those checks for their businesses, even those who got advice in terms of where to from here, this is why you are here. And as I started, I said, you cannot walk into this event in this church and remain the same person. Then you owe it to yourself. Then you are being unfair to yourself. So it is our responsibility. Remember that your life, it is a testimony in making. One day, I haven't heard anybody, all the speakers who said, my life was smooth from primary, high school, varsity, here I am, life is good. I'm yet to meet that person. So, from today, my word of advice, take your life as a testimony in making. One day, you are going to tell somebody, Hori, I was there, I studied, I had my 2 degrees, and I waited with them because my life was a testimony. And you're going to tell somebody, you're going to advise somebody. So are we agreeing on that? With that being said, I'm not saying relax, high testimonies are builder. No. We are working, we have shared, one delay shared our platform, you register, you apply for those learnerships, you apply for those bursaries, you apply for everything. We have the 21 seaters, they also have similar programs for young people. So please take advantage of that. That's the reason why we are here. So if you're not going to follow it through, from Tita, we love you, we appreciate you, and we wish you nothing else but the best of luck, and may God bless you all. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Armakale me abua mona teaching. Ke Mosotho. Libitso la ke Harmakale. Ramakgetheng. Me Armakale ha wa rmakatsa utlwa. Re a lebo. Before we get into our last session, very last short session. Okay, I'll talk about tourism after this. Hona le batho ba ntseng ba thola dithuso tse nyane ha ntse re tswela pele re etsa di-session hona le batho ba ntseng ba bona hore motho o le hore o etsa so mo tlise kwana. I've heard the brother there talking to me about the two sisters who were talking mo ka mathata a bona a mental health. He told me where he's from and he told me hore what is it that he's going to do to help the two sisters. So they are going to get help. Again, I'm going to give a minute to a sister at the corner there. She says, Thabo kitswa mo Thabanchu, and there are things that I'm doing to help myself fight this mental health thing. And then is, let me tell these people, maybe one of them can find it interesting, and then that's all. Please welcome her on stage. My sister. Go. Tell us who you are, what you do. Stage, Kise.
Thank you, Tumela. The founder and managing director of Kananelo Cleaning Services and Mporo's Collection. So Kananelo Cleaning Services is the cleaning services and then cleaning detergents as well. As independent sales reps. And then there's this one here, Mporo's Collection. Mporo's Collection is the crocheted items, so I think that one going to interest in to get through the most difficult time of my life. Ne? So now I'll be helping young people crochet for free. That skill. Ne? So if you want, when you're going through such things, you need to have a hobby. Ne? You need to have a hobby. You need to learn a skill. But guys, you live on that. You can come and learn how to crochet. I'll do it for free. Ne? So if you want my help, if you need me to teach you how to crochet, company Mporo's Collection. Ne? It's on Instagram. It's on Facebook. It's on TikTok, and I also have an online store, guys. This week, so at least it's doing well.
Wow.
Ne? Yeah, so it started as a hobby, now it's a business. So if you need to start learning how to crochet, yeah, it's 078 6233 440. Libitso la company ki Mporo's Collection. Yeah, so you can Google it, you can search it on social media. Oh, it's 078 6233 440. But when crocheting helps the mental issues and whatnot, it calms you down. Oh gosh. Sebile ke na le di-customer, Maneli Nituka is one of my customers. One said yes, and she's my mentor as well.
Wow.
So yeah.
Let's give her a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. I think one of our panelists spoke about this already. The simplest to do could be something that can take you from point A to Z. Gardening, crochet, she's willing to teach you for free. Thank you so much. Now we move into another session. Yesterday, I stand to be corrected. Yesterday was World Tourism Day. Say again. Say again. Huh? Yes. 24th was World Tourism Day. This is Tourism Month. Okay. The theme this year is tourism and peace, right? All right. Thank you. You see, now we're talking to experts, people who play in these fields. Got 25 in World Pharmacist Day, ne? And you remember, we spoke about it, Go Afternoon Drive, World Pharmacist Day. Rabale guest from the Department of Health Free State, if you remember very well. Now, we are going to delve into opportunities in tourism. If there are opportunities, expert in that field. Now, ladies and gentlemen, help me to welcome on stage Director Yatabile Tours and Shuttle, Seti Mdluli. Let's give Seti a big round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm so cold.
Sorry. Have you had some tea, coffee?
Yeah, I did. Oh, it's afternoon. To my life. I speak, I talk, and I boo a little bit. My name is Seti Mdluli. I'm the founder and the CEO of Tabile Tours and Shuttle. We are situated in Bloemfontein. I think the buses is familiar to most of the people here. Some of you went to tours on my buses. I'm the person who put the packages together. Today, I was really caught. Last week, I was in bed, sick. I'm still not fine. And they asked me to do this, which I really appreciate. Empower Works to give me the opportunity to come and talk to our youth. Yeah, people speak young. They young. They've got degrees and honors and you name it. I counted it down. I don't have any of that. But I've got the brains to most of what we can do. You don't have to be educated so much. Okay, I'm just going to be put it together. How my journey starts. I went to school in Joburg, and my mom and dad, my family is from Bloem. I'm from Bloem. My mom passed away, and I'm the eldest daughter. My mom passed away, and she left a baby boy of 2 years, still breastfeeding. And I had to quit school. Those years, it was the standards. I was standard 8. I had to quit school and come home and be an instant mother at the age of 15 years. There were still 2 siblings, my sisters. My dad was the only breadwinner. And then my grandma, I usually say, I'm a cartoon lady. I'm what I am due to cartoon selling. My grandma sold this rosa, what do you call it, the curtains. Yeah, to help my father, which I'm very proud about it. We usually clean the boxes and to be nice at home. But my mother and my father had 2 makoropelas. I don't know, Pastor, you know a makoropela, ne? Okay, let me explain you what is a makoropela. A makoropela is one of those old kumbis that open like a wardrobe. Yes, my mom had a white one, my father had a blue one. And what happened is that I was at home and trying to get myself, I was crying. I was like, Lord, why me? But I'm the eldest. And this kid, yo. But hence, it's my baby brother. I had to bring him up. And then Papa did the, what do you call it? Countries. We called it countries, the sleep outs and whatever with the glass people, B.P. Jones. And as time goes by, my father had this blue Corolla. And I started learning, getting my learners, and from there, and getting my license. And I was 18 years old. And then one Sunday, I had my license. I said to my dad, you know what? These 2 kumbis are just standing here. We just go to Joburg or Bushmanskop. I've got family there. Van Stadensres and Weppener, and then it parks. And you riding a bicycle to work. I can't really the sports cars. It was, it's his wealth. He was, yes. It was quite kumbis that day. But anyhow, when my dad said, yeah, but I'm going to sell it. I said, no, you're not going to sell those kumbis. And I organized with my uncle. He's got permits. And I talked to him. I said, you know what? Please hire us 1 permit. Rent us 1 permit. Next week, Sunday, I'm going on the line. And my dad was very furious with me because I did that behind his back. And we went to the transportation board and do the paperwork and blah, blah. Long story short, on a Sunday after church at around 1 o'clock, because Methodist, I'm a Methodist. Our church is in our street, in Albert Swayze Street. After church, and I took my father was sleeping. No, I'm lying. He was sleeping before he go to Hungry Lions, to the soccer with the white, and I took the blue Makoropela, and I take one of the guys, and there starts my journey. I went to the taxi rank, and I worked with their taxi as a taxi driver. And I will never forget, the first day, that Sunday, I'm penetrating a man's world, remember? So they feel offense. Here's this, and I was, yes, I was in my yes. And then I started my taxi driving that day. And I got a Vulavala. And the Monday, my daddy said to me, "Jy gaan nergens. Jy los die busie in die yard en jy gaan nergens." And what I did, I took the spare keys and I put it away. And my father took the other keys to work. And I was on the line. And from there on was history. He didn't know what to do with me and blah, blah, blah. And there starts my journey. So, in short, I started to be a taxi driver in 1986. And I drove taxis for up to 28 years. I drove long distance, short distance. My father, after 2 years of driving that Makoropela, he bought a 20-seater, a Datsun. Doesn't have steering. It was Tata. No steering, a power steering and so. But I went on. I must tell you, at that time, after the Datsun came the GLX. And at the GLX, I was pregnant. And my father bought the GLX automatic for me to be comfortable. And I worked. And my baby daughter got married, and my husband even joined me. Because that time, it was a struggle to get a job. And he was also, he's got his masters, he's got his what. And I said to him, "Masters, don't bring food. Papers, don't bring food on the table. Ideas in your 2 hands that God gave you in mind. Put something on the table." And he helped me. We were both together. And he helped me. And my father was there. And there we grew. Most of the people nowadays, when they see me, they still call me Shanek. I say, "I'm married with Luli." Bo Papa Likihanda Libona still call me on my home surname. But people from there, I just want to motivate the youth and say, doesn't matter your circumstances. I was saying, people, when I started taxi, they laughed at me. Friends of mine who finished grade 12, remember, and they call us that time, I don't know now, but that time they called us uneducated taxi drivers. We are dirty. Hararutea. You are just a taxi driver. And I said, "God, I'm going to prove them wrong, because this I put by your feet. You're going to handle this case for me." And I worked for my father to have a fleet of 5 taxis. And Daddy resigned from, and because that time I was a young mom, 18, 19, I was 19 years when I got my first child. No one advised me. It's only me and Daddy, never married. He passed away over 40 years, never married. He was just with us. And during that time, pregnancy and all, my baby daddy died, passed away due to illness. I was alone. My dad brought my son up. And then his grandma took him because I was on the taxi rank. And then, guys, from there is history. I can talk the whole day about this passion that I have. And then I got married, and I had a daughter, a boy. And then after my daughter, I was like, what is my next basket that I want to do? And you know what I did? I went to motel, register, I went night school, finished my grade 12. Ask me, where's my certificate? I don't know. Really, CEO, it never worked for me. It's somewhere. I don't even have a CV. I myself am my own CV. Yes. Just to show you, people, you don't have to have 10 degrees. Yeah, no, education is really, it's the thing. You must be educated for a fall down. But I said to myself, I'm going to do this in this man's world. Hal hona le di-taxi driver tse sa kgoneng go kganna le nna man till now. Dare me. Dare me. Was taxi driver 2004. Those years was SATSA, South African Taxi Associations, and so on. 2004, still got my trophy. I was a driver of the year in the Free State. Thank you. And there starts my journey. And I registered myself through SA Tourism. Why? I'm the taxi driver. We are uneducated. We are dirty. But now I was a clean taxi driver. I didn't even eat that food at the taxi driver. I saw what's happening there. I'm not saying you must, you must eat healthy. But I registered myself because what I did is, I want to prove the people wrong. You get family that says, shoo, never, there will be never taxi drivers. Oh, but the same persons, the same people, taxi driver. Taxi driver. They want the taxi driver to buy them something with that money. You must remember when I started taxi, the taxi fare was 25 cents. We have tropo. And my salary was 65. I papa paid 65 rand a week. And I started with 25 cents in a visa from Cairo to town. And those years, the Ritsama right through Rocklands and it wasn't like now that your permit prohibit you on routes. But anyhow, long story short, and then I comply. I got a lot of information for myself. And say, okay, let me get all the papers to be compliant, to be a tour operator. And I did that. I registered my company. People mostly ask me, Seti, why Tabile Tours? I say, because Nikitala we tuta sutu on the line. And may his soul rest in peace. Pepper, he was disabled here. That was my upchuster. Yes, he taught me sutu. And most of the time, most of the time it was in the line. And I asked him, Pepper, I'm glad, I'm here. And he said, I don't know. I said, what is it to be? And he said, Kiutaba. There's a tablet tours. Most of the people will ask, why the wave? A wave, when it starts flow down in the sea. And it goes. I'm still not there at the point. You see, if you can look at my logo. Oh yeah. If you can look at my logo, it starts here. And I'm moving, guys. I'm moving up. You know what COVID did? It took me back to where I started. Lose vehicles to the banks, but I'm still up. But that's a story for another day. Thank you. But what I'm trying also to motivate youth here is not to give up. Really not to give up. And the most important now, even, it's even nicer. You can still study at CUT and start your own business. I've got one colleague, he's a student at CUT. He's already a tourism. He's already a tour operator. He makes use of my vehicles. He does packages and sell to the students in. So people just think that most of the time they will just say, I'm a tour operator. There's a lot to comply, to be a tour operator. I went through SASA to the courses. I'm registered. I comply CSD. You must go and register CSD. You must know what you need, especially very important is your passenger liability. Passenger liability, like a tour operator. My personal liability is at 20 million. Why? Taxis is 75,000. I usually say to the people, and they don't understand, you can take a taxi and go to Joburg, book a taxi and go to Joburg. And that taxi, when something happens on the taxi on the way, what is this thing? Road accident fund will pay out, but it's about the only personal liability that the taxi have if they paid 75,000 rand, whereby you as a tour operator and you are compliance for your buses and things must be more, because we transfer international guests and I say Americans, they sue us, ne? Even a finger can cost you 18 million. So yeah, there's a lot of those things that the tour operator must do. But what Nono and the crew asked me to talk about very, very briefly is, how do you start? If you know that you can do it, if you love to be a tour operator, if you love to know what you're doing for yourself and you start by getting a lot. The emphasis here, the whole information. You don't be tired to read and find out what is your next step and what is your next step and what can you do. There's a few points that I stated here right down that I thought of, but I think the panel will do it. I was actually lucky in my family. I started the thing of taxis. My son is also in the business. He drove the 20-seaters. My daughter is in Alaska. She's got a degree in tourism. She was 2 years in Texas and came back, and COVID closed her, and now she's 4 years that she's every 7th month at the Carnival cruises, different cruises. She's coming back now November for 2 months. She's a supervisor now on the cruise. And let me tell you the nice thing of tourism, if you comply. National Department, few years ago, I think it's 3 years ago, they gave me opportunity to study through UOFs. And I was like, no, not for me, books, nah. And I asked them, can I give this opportunity to my daughter? And she's here due to, and they say yes. And they sponsored through tourism. They gave her a 50,000 voucher, bought her a computer, and she did a high certificate in management through UOFs, sponsored by National Department. And she did the last year on the boats. Just to show you a lot of opportunities that I think, like I've heard, that is was here. They help a lot with funding and grants and SIDA and blah, blah. There's a lot that you can get from those departments. So yeah, guys, I'm more than willing to help youth, students. I will give my business cards. If you want to start like Sukula, like Mina, but today I'm not a Sukula. I just invest myself, and I do the thing, man. I love what I'm doing. I sleep, eat, drink tourism. You will always see my status as eat, sleep, drink tourism. I've got 2 of my intern students here. My office for the past 10 years or so take students, CUT tourism students in for 6 months. I've got Lerato, Lebu. Okay, Lerato finished last year. She's now with tourism thing at the police. Lebu's here and a sister. Lebu finished, okay, thanks. Lebu finished internship last year. Yes. And then St. Francis Production. They also sponsor, they give you money. They also sponsor students who study for the degrees at CUT. She's now back for 2 years in the office. And she chose Tabiletos to do it again. Thank you. I've got students, they are working at SA Tourism. I've got intern students that's working now at National Department that was products of tabulators in the office. So youth, I'm telling you guys, the future is you. And there's no such thing, ekani, hakikoni, haikeasukula, haike. To start your business, you can even use your phone now, just your phone, to start your business. Just a phone. And you go to social media, yo, li blind. I'm even use my interns to do that because I'm BBT. You see my hard copy. I believe in my hard copy, although I've got my laptop. I write down, shame. Although, yeah. I think I spoke a lot about me now. I'm finished, Tabo. And oh yeah, I had an interview with Radio 2000 with, it's David.
Oh, Mashabela, yes.
Yes, it was David with the tourism month. This month was tourism month. Although in the Free State, guys, yeah, I don't want to say something negative, but we don't have roses. We were a city of roses. And people in the tourism industry get very furious with me when I say, no, we are not anymore. And I said it on the radio also, we are not anymore city of roses, we are city of rubbish. I had a tour bus, I do have 20 seaters, luxury, aircon, fridges, everything in it. I had clients in the bus. No, we mustn't be afraid. That's our problem. We don't talk. We don't let those people know. And I usually tell them at FSGLTA, guys, we can't sell Free State. We can't sell Bloemfontein. There's nothing. 4 years or 5 years ago, you've got clients of Germany or whatever, you take them to Mapikela house and say, no, it's under construction. Then they come back, 2024. What are you saying now? It's still under construction after 4 years. Where's the money? Where's everything? So yeah, we are fighting with these guys. Municipality don't clean up our places. What are we supposed to sell? Me, I will take you to the Vrouwe Monument. Very nice. I will take you to Opa on Naval Hill. Very nice. Clean. We must always say, guys, we've got 60 international guests. Can we just clean up? You don't even want to take them to the historical, and Bloemfontein is one of the historical places to be. German, Amsterdam, all those guys want to come here, but we can't. So we've got the opportunity. Last year I was in Dubai. Guys, you can even eat from there. Next week I'm on my way to Las Vegas, National Department, doing all this. Previous year I was in Barcelona. You're Ghana, you're Nigerian. Oh yeah, that's why we are so lawless. But that's for another day. So if you comply as a tour operator, if you comply to do tourism, you will see places. Thank you.
Let's give him Mem Julie a big round of applause. Mem Julie, as you are standing right there, next week you are going, and I've realized this laptop bag of yours, Ibuima. It's heavy. So I would like to carry that bag for you.
Okay.
As we go.
Okay.
You and me.
Okay.
I'm saying let's quickly run to the floor and see if anybody wants to add, ask, subtract, and say anything. Floor? From what Mem Julie has said, tourism, any of you want to ask something? I'm just going to take two. Thank you.
Thank you, Daddy. I'm from Mangaung.
Yes, sir.
I don't take offense to the statement that you have just made. The city of rubbish.
Yes.
Not of roses anymore.
No.
But I would like to assure everybody around here, we are turning the tide. The Vrouwe Monument, the Vrouwe and all the other places that you've spoken about. Even the restaurant up there.
It's still standing.
Oh, he's still standing around. So personally, I'm going to take your details and your number And then where I work, I play oversight. You know.
Yeah, that
I'll
will be.
go and
I'll give you my
practice.
business card, sir.
Thank you so
That will
much.
be good to talk about it.
Thank you, Releboa. Let's give him a big round of applause.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon to everybody in the house and to the leaders, our leaders in this occasion. My question is, in tourism, is there any possibility to find if maybe I want to apply for
a permit
for tourism, like maybe tourism, like going out long distances and so on, so forth. Maybe a bus operator for tourism or something like that. Permits. Is it possible nowadays to find a permit of tourism? That is my question.
Okay, let me just be briefly, because I see the ladies showing the time. To have a tourism permit, it's a long journey, because interstate, on the tourism side, interstate, the big guys, Springbok and all, will kill you down. They will really, because for a tourism permit to be approved, they must call all those big buses in and say, okay, Mtwaki wants a permit and this and this, and that time you don't have a bus. So it's very difficult. What I will advise, and shortly, just give, that was one of the things that I forgot to tell you, is that when you comply and you've got your business and everything, go to the transportation board in Bloemfontein, but you must have a letter from FSGLTA, you must be registered FSGLTA and all those transport things. And then from there, you go there and do a charter permit. Not tourism, a charter permit now. Because a charter permit will allow you to take tourists from one place to another. But please don't use it as a taxi permit. I do have my taxi permits. I do have my tourism and charter permits. Those years we paid 25 rand for it. But now I don't know how much it is. But a charter permit. But when you comply, because FSGLTA will not give you a letter and say, Mtwaki is a tour operator. And Mtwaki didn't go through to be a tour operator. If I've answered you right. Thank you.
Relebohile haholo fela, Ma'am Julie, thank you so much, mme. Re a leboha. Re tswela pele bana beso, re se re le haufi le ho fihla moo re yang teng. Re ntse re dutse on this subject. Allow me to call from the South African Creative Industry Incubator. Let me get into the CEO's office and call on stage Leotie Taylor. Let's give Leotie a big round of applause, please.
Hello. Hello. I think in this part of the world you say Dumelang, am I correct? Or do you say Sawubona? All right. So I am Afrikaans, so on say hello. It's such an absolute pleasure to be here with you today. I'm going to attempt in the very shortest time possible to tell you as our youth what the opportunities are for you in the creative and entrepreneurship industries. All right, so just by show of hands, who here runs a business or is attempting to run a business? You can put your hand up. All right. And who here is compliant in running that business? Compliant, who's registered to run the business? All right. Who is trading informally? All right. So I'm going to speak to you, or I'm going to attempt to speak to you guys about unlocking innovation in the creative industries, but more so about entrepreneurship, because I believe that is where the future of the youth lies. All right. So I'm just going to tell you a bit about me. I am first and foremost a performing artist. That is what I do. That is what I studied. And then secondly, I do creative entrepreneurship development as my full-time job, right? So I work for the South African Creative Industries Incubator, and we have a deep commitment to inclusivity to creatives from all walks of life. In order for you to understand what I'm going to speak about today, I want to speak just very shortly about the organization that I work for. So we are an experienced business development entity that has worked in the creative industry space for approximately 8 years now. We are a township-based creative hub, and the reason for that is we believe that township-based creatives and entrepreneurs need access to skills development, business growth, and business development. We partner with government and the private sector to leverage content development, and we deliver tailored incubation programs. Now, who here has heard about incubation or business incubation? Okay, we have quite a few. All right, so I'm going to speak about entrepreneurship. I think what is important to know or to note is that the time is now for entrepreneurship. And the time is for you as the youth for entrepreneurship. All right. I think what is key to know is that we need to move away from the mindset of trading informally. Okay? Because it's quick money, it's easy money, but you can never grow, and you can never grow generational wealth if you do not move away from that mindset. All right. There are many avenues available to you to become compliant. I always like to use this analogy. I'm going to ask this lovely lady over here. What's your name? Okay, Dineo, how much on average do you think you spend per month on data? About 700. All right. All right. Who here spends money on data every month? All right. So all of you spend money on data every month. All right. So for you that spend that amount of money, what stops you from saving that money and registering a business? All right. And that is the mindset that we need to move away from. If you are able to scroll on TikTok and Instagram and you're able to go on all these social media platforms, why not use those platforms to empower yourself? All right. The next thing I want to touch on is learning how to monetize your creative or business offerings. All right. So we exist as an incubator, and as an incubator, what we do is we teach businesses how to formalize themselves. So number one, at the South African Creative Industries Incubator, you will never pay to form a part of one of our programs. That is why we partner with government and the private sector. When you come into our programs, one of the first things we do is check compliance, because that allows you. Now, what people do not understand about registering a business is that it gives you some form of legitimacy. All right. I cannot explain or over-explain the importance of legitimizing yourself, because there's a mindset shift that happens when you do that. All right. So we firstly do that. The second step to incubation is understanding the kind of entrepreneur that you are. Right. We specialize in dealing with creative entrepreneurs, but we also have programs that are focused on generic entrepreneurship. All right. So understanding what you sell. I always say people don't buy products and they don't buy services. They buy value. All right. Thank you. They buy value. And if you can articulate in a very short way what the value is that you are bringing to your community or to the people you are servicing, then you have a business. All right. The second thing that we teach is knowing your market. All right. I like to use the analogy, you cannot sell apples to someone who likes oranges. All right. And that is where a lot of entrepreneurs off-ramp. And then they're looking at the business and they're like, why is it not working? Why am I not making any money? Why is there no growth? Because you have not studied the market. You have not studied what the people want. You know, they have a saying. What's the saying? Give the people what they All right. So sell to the people what it is that they want. The fourth thing that is key to entrepreneurship, and I know that this is something that we don't like to talk about, and I think as people of color, it's a conversation that we need to start having to start empowering ourselves. We don't like to talk about money. Yeah? All right. So those are conversations that are had behind the corner or in the bedroom or where no one can see us so that it's not exposed. But the only way we can empower ourselves is to have the conversations. How much money do you want to make? How do you want to make your money? How are you going to spend your money? How are you going to grow your money? All right. There are multiple tools available to you for you to learn these things. Again, if you can sit on TikTok, if you can sit on Instagram, if you can sit on Facebook, FNB has a great new app for entrepreneurs. All right. So get yourself educated on that. Number 6, is the one I think you will like most. I think as the youth of today and as the youth that are currently leading the industries, I think what has to happen is you have to accept that you are the new adults. Right. And with that acceptance comes a responsibility. It's accepting who you are. It's accepting where you come from. All right. The next phase of building a business is marketing. And she so beautifully said right now, all you need is a phone. Now that's when you can go on your TikTok and your Instagram. You no longer have to pay thousands of rands to businesses to market for you. You can literally create a business profile on every platform available to you. All right. So that is the next thing. I think what is also important before I start speaking on this is as entrepreneurs and as wannabe entrepreneurs and as youth that would like to be entrepreneurs, I think what has to happen is you have to go back to grassroots level. All right. We have this culture of moving away from the communities that built us. Right. And I think social impact and creating social value for the communities where you come from. I always beg and I always plead and I always ask people, when you have been empowered, so you've been empowered this week. Who has been empowered this week? All right. Can we give the Empower and the Theta team a big round of applause? All right. So you've been empowered this week, and I think what is also important to remember when it comes to entrepreneurship, what people forget is that entrepreneurship has the ability to change communities. It has the ability to change lives. All right, if done properly and if done diligently. In the creative industry specifically, if you want to be a creative entrepreneur or in any entrepreneurship place, there is opportunity. So I will make an example, right? We have a singer, right? The singer needs to go and do a show. The singer employs a makeup artist. The singer employs a fashion designer to design a dress. A sound engineer is employed. A stage manager is employed. And an entire 8 or 7 or 6-piece band is employed. In one event, approximately 14 plus minus economic opportunities are created, right? So I think it's important to remember that when you decide, and this becomes a decision, you are always one decision away from a different life. All right, so when you decide, bring the people from your community along with you, right? The information and the knowledge that you have gained here today, share that with the people in your community. All right. My next point, and we should not underestimate the value of this because it again provides you with some form of legitimacy. All right. Is educating yourself on your industry. Right. I have a very nice thing that I do where if I want to do something, I find a person within that industry and I read about their journey. I read how they became so successful in their field. All right. There's a lot of information available to you. You want to be able to stand on a stage like this one day and re-empower people. But the only way that you can do that is through educating yourself on the field that you find yourself in. All right. And then next, I think collaboration is also key. So in this room alone, I can tell you, if we speak to each other, if we engage with each other, we will find multiple opportunities for collaboration. All right, and that assists a business in growing. So talking to your neighbor, talking to your peers, talking to people in the same industry, even talking to people that you would like to mentor you, that is also a great place and point of departure. I think the next thing is I always ask and implore people to never let your gift, the gift that God has instilled in you, the gift to either start a business or to grow anything, never let your gift be bigger than your purpose. All right? So explore your gift, explore that, but then knowing what your purpose is. Another question I have for you guys, I know I'm here with all the questions today. Who has discovered their purpose in life? And there's no right or wrong answer. All right. So that's where the journey begins. The journey begins with knowing why you are here. The time for the youth is now. I think entrepreneurs, more especially creative entrepreneurs, are catalysts for social change. And you, as the youth, should be the guardians of culture. Our languages should not be forgotten. Our culture should not be forgotten. Where we come from should not be forgotten. And the onus is on you as the youth to ensure that does not happen. All right. Leveraging your business offering to preserve cultural legacies and to empower communities. As entrepreneurs in communities, you automatically become a leader, as the lovely lady has become. So empowering yourself with the knowledge and the skills that you require automatically makes you a leader. All right. And the ability to merge your creativity not only generates economic value, but it sustains cultural identity. So I'm going to tell you guys about a few places that you can go as the youth to learn more about entrepreneurship, to learn more about how you can become compliant, and to learn more about how you can grow your business. So I will firstly speak from knowledge. So the South African Creative Industries Incubator works nationally, and we work using a hybrid approach. Now, what does that mean? That means that we can incubate your business online. All right. And you can then receive your certificate in the post or in the mail. So I'm going to go back just so you guys remember the logo. All right. Then you have the Arts and Culture Trust. The Arts and Culture Trust is based in Gauteng, in Braamfontein, at the Constitution Hill Precinct. Now, all of you probably have phones, so as I mentioned these places, please go on your phone and find these places. The Arts and Culture Trust assists with grant funding for entrepreneurship projects or events. All right. To register your business, you will, I'm sure you know this, but I'd like to just remind you that you can go onto the CIPC website to formalize and register your business. All right. The National Youth Development Agency can assist you in drafting a business plan free of charge. Right. Capitec Business or Mercantile Bank, which has now become Capitec Business, has the most cost-effective business banking solution. All right. So if you want to trade formally, those are avenues that you can explore. Right. The Gauteng Department of Economic Development partners very much with other provinces to roll out similar programs. So we've done multiple programs for the Gauteng Department of Economic Development, and there the onus is on job creation. So go onto their website and see which government entities they partner with in the Free State, and those opportunities are made available to you. All right. There are also a lot of economic opportunities, bursary opportunities, grant funding opportunities available to you with international embassies and consulates. Right, if you go. So all you have to do, again, and I'm going to ask you to say this with me, empower yourself. Right, so that little device in your hand that you're holding, that is the device that holds the key to your future. Right, so again, I want to implore you to preserve your culture, to preserve your heritage, and to preserve your gift, and learn how to monetize that gift that has been placed inside of you. All right. I do have a few business cards with me. I also have a bit of information about our incubator. So if you'd like some more information, I'll be free to assist you with that. But the onus is on you as the youth to create the difference in your communities and in this country. The time is now. We can no longer sit back. We can no longer wait for someone to come and save us, because no one's coming. Right? No one is coming to save you. So you are your own savior. The onus is on you to change the narrative. And the beauty of deciding to become the change that you want to see is that you create a monopoly effect in your generation and in the generations to follow after you. So if you want to be the one that starts the change in your generation, who would like to be the first person to start an economic change in their legacy and in their lineage? I think it goes without saying that you all want to, right? But again, no one is coming to do that for you. There are beautiful platforms just like this one and many more like this that give you the tools, that give you the networks, and that give you the people that you need. But when you walk out of that door today, the question becomes, what are you going to do with the knowledge that you've been empowered with for the last 3 days? When the summit returns next year, are we going to hear some success stories? Are we going to? Right. Are you going to be one of the people that walks in here next year and says, I was sitting in that seat last year, and this is what I've done? All right. So I'm open to questions right now, if there are any.
Can I ask? Yes. Oh, okay. Is there anything that the incubator can do for NGOs and charities?
Yes, so we are a social enterprise, and we actually work very closely with NGOs. What we do is we teach you how to create a twofold organization, right? So we teach you how to grow the NGO leg of your business, and then we teach you how to work and also get profit. So we teach you how to register firstly for the NGO leg if you are registered or if you aren't registered. Then we teach you how to monetize your business offerings so that you can operate at a profit, but also make the social impact that you'd like to make. How do you access? So I'll give you my card when I'm done speaking, but I'll also give you our social media handles and all of that so that you can go on the site. So for anyone here who wants to know, if you follow us, the South African Creative Industries Incubator on social media, every second week or so, we have a new call going out for new programs. And everyone from around the country is able to apply. It will be stated in the call out narrative who's able to apply, what the application criteria is. Right. Any other questions?
Hi. Could you share with us one of your success stories from this year or the year before?
All right. So in the incubator itself, one of the success stories that we have is we had someone coming into our incubator who was running at a complete loss. He understood his business, he understood his business model, but he did not know how to monetize and how to scale. So scale means to grow the business. And he went through our 6-month accelerator program, Within those 6 months, he was given a dedicated business coach, so that is an added value from our programs. He was also given a life coach. And one of the things that we very quickly found, and this is the value proposition of the incubator, is that we don't just focus on the business, because that is the mistake that a lot of people make. They focus on the business and not the person behind the business. And we found that there was a limiting belief regarding money and how to access that money. And once we got rid of that limiting belief, his business skyrocketed. He went from a negative turnover to a turnover of 50,000 plus per month. He's currently now sitting at about 320,000 rand per month. He's been able to create employment for 15 plus people, and he's now scaled his business from Johannesburg to Cape Town. One more question. How much time do I have left? I'm not sure.
Not much.
All right. Okay, we've got time for one more question.
So since I'm running my business now, it's registered, and I also want to do the skills development thing, would you advise me to register it as an NPO? Maybe still have the registered business and then have an NPO where I upskill people, or...
So I always will advise people of two things, right? The reason we go into business is to make a social impact. We want to change people's lives. But what do you need in order to change people's lives? You need money. Right. So I always advise that you register yourself as a PTY Ltd, and then you have a non-profit division within the business itself. So you're able to generate an income to sustain the nonprofit. But first register the PTY, and then you register the NPO.
Okay, I think I'm going to need your help. It's registered already.
All right, so I'd like to thank you for your time. I hope that was helpful. I hope that was impactful. At the South African Creative Industries Incubator, we believe that you never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, whether that is your life, whether that is your circumstance, whether that is your financial situation, you need to build a new model. So whether that is the way you think, whether that is your habits, whether that is the way you operate, you need to build something new that makes your existing reality obsolete. I want to thank you for your time. I want to wish you all the best. I hope to hear some success stories. Thank you.
Is that our best? Let's give her a big round of applause. Oh, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, as our colleagues are preparing to play yesterday's reel, I would like to thank you so much. And I would like to thank Tita, Empower Youth, and all the stakeholders for giving me the opportunity to come today and drive this vehicle. Who knows Rakopana guy? Who knows Rakopana guy? I want you on the mic. Rakopana guy, Nalo and Osan. Kereke. Rakopana Kereke. Linna. Rakopana guy, Linna Osan. Ah! Yo! Let's meet tomorrow. Tomorrow is Monday again. Ah, no. Hey, what's who? Into Yaruna Yosa Robali Mfundis. As Lento Tokungalali, Skichi must sevens. Oh, tomorrow it's Sunday. Or Kopana Kerekeng. Yes, you are right. Let's meet tomorrow, Kerekeng. And then Monday, Monday we meet Lisedi FM afternoon drive with my team, Laki Kacha, Lebu Mawela, Likachiso Sibudi Ratella afternoon drive. Can you please give me a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? This is what was happening yesterday. Thank you. Bye, bye.
Mashakanga, Zichomitanga, Indikotaka, Natikona Netanga, Mashakanga, Zichomitanga, Indikotaka, Chomitanga, Indikotaka, Natikona Netanga, Mashakanga, Chomitanga, Indikotaka, Natikona Netanga.
Sanmonani. Lekay bakhaetso. Serakwala no. Yeah, you guys can go now. Or shot something. What's shooting? Hey, unkhohlwa ne. Nifuna la indaba ye competition. Ne social media. Let me give it over to Precious so she can tell us who the social media winner is.
So today also guys I want to say I liberekile today like this was a very difficult decision to make, but unfortunately there can only be one winner, but we're all winners in all different ways. So drum roll please. Our social media winner for today is Uncle Don.
Viva! All right, so we're just waiting for Sis Nono. Mbali ngicela nincedise quickly. Yeah, can we get the last two checks? And we will be closing. But have you guys had a great time? Did you have a great time? Are you sure? Did we add value? Let me see by raise of hands. Who says the life? Oh wow, Mfundisi, look at this. This is insane. Thank you guys. As much as we add value to you, you guys add value to us. Because this says to us we've done good work. And we can pat ourselves on the back. So thank you so much guys for showing up for yourself. Thank you for coming for these 3 days and spending time with us. Yes, what's up? Are your hands up? Oh, Makati. Leoti, your line's gonna be hot. Literally. Yes. Let's allow Sis Nono to do the vote of thanks in the meantime.
Tita, empower youth. Tita, empower youth. Tita, empower youth. Yeah. Thanks to Wandile, our new sensation. That's going to be our new song. Okay. OC. All right. Thank you so much. Ke kopa di atla di teng di card le tla di thola dumelang le kae re teng. I'm just here to do a vote of thanks while we before but di winner tsa rona, because after this we won't have a lot of time, or at least I never really energy ya go mamela and do the vote of thanks. All right, so I just want to, I know also Hari Magali did a great job and went into everything, but I just wanted us to first thank our suppliers. You know, the technical team, the production, everything that you're seeing here, the stage, everything that you're seeing. Can we give our technical team a round of applause for that? And then we are going to thank the other suppliers, Deco, the security that has kept us safe, and most of all, the Jose Mnatita catering thing. And you give them a round of applause. And then we just want to thank our officials. We've got our councillor that came from day one, opened for us and was with us throughout. And we also want to thank the venue, St. Paul's. Thank you so much, Mfundisi. Mfundisi fought for us. When we had challenges of being here, Mfundisi fought and said, not with this platform. And that's why we are here today. Amen. Thank you. I can say amen there. Amen. I want to thank our speakers. We have people that drove more than 5 hours just to come and speak to you today, to share their knowledge, to share their time, things that we can never give them back. So we want to thank our speakers, all of them, from far and from near, speakers who came and shared their skills, their time, their knowledge, everything. Let's give them a round of applause to our speakers. We want to thank our MCs that did an absolutely amazing job. Utabo Mugoni today, Usamari yesterday, Ukoto on Monday. So thank you very much to our MCs who kept us alive the whole day. We want to thank our sponsors. Firstly, CCPSA with the life-changing amounts and the life-changing awards that they've given us. That's Coca-Cola. Can we give Coca-Cola a round of applause? We want to thank our newest sensation, like I said, Wandile. We've traveled with Wandile so many provinces. This is the first province we see Wandile unlocked. We did not know we had this talent. So thank you, Free State, for unlocking Wandile. We want to thank the organization that has made sure we've covered 7, actually all the other provinces. Empower Youth started in Gauteng, and it was in Gauteng for 8 to 9 years. And when Tita came on board and saw what we're doing, Mama People unlocked the value so that we're able to go to all these provinces. We've literally been to every province. The only one that's left now is Western Cape. So it was Free State and Western Cape. We are here today, and then next month we're going to Western Cape. Thank you so much, Cheetah. Let's give them a round of applause. They not only ensure that we are here, but what they do is that they also ensure that there is life after, and there are programs after this that we do. Last but not least, I want to thank the platform Empower Youth, which was birthed by Empower Works. So just to take this moment and thank our CEO, thank our management, thank who founded this thing, and we just want to thank them from this platform. We have been able to impact other lives through this platform because of EmpowerX. Thank you so much. Thank you to yourself. Please give yourself a round of applause. Thank you for being with us and making Empower Youth Free State Tabanchu this success. Thank you.
Hi guys, just a quick one. It's me again. So can I please have all the social media winners that won over the past 3 days? We'd just like to give you a t-shirt as part of a token of appreciation for taking your time and in showing the progress on our social media platforms. So all 3 winners, please come up on stage so I can give you a t-shirt. And then, yeah, we're good. If they're all here, I'm assuming they are. How, guys? Why is that 23 days, Kaufela? Why?
One, two. Right, guys. It's the moment of truth. Can I have the CCBSA slide, please? Okay, where's Nono? Yeah, hello. Mbali, you can come as well, please. It's just us today. Right, before we get into the first winner, how many people are here that pitched yesterday? Can you just raise your hands? Hi. I need to, all the ones that pitched, or can you stand? Because I need to see the number clearly. How many? 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. No, don't sit, stand. Okay, can you guys quickly come here? All of you. Okay. Or you can stand here. You can just stand here. Can the camera catch that? Are we fine for the stream if they stand here? On the stage? Okay, no. Please come onto the stage. Let's stand in a straight line. Okay? No, you do not need to be nervous. Why are you all so scared? Huh? What Okay, how many of us are here? 2, 4. Okay. All right, it's fine. Let's give them out. Yeah. So we just wanted to say thank you to all of you guys for participating yesterday. We just wanted to give you a token of appreciation from Empower Works and CCBSA to say keep on keeping on. Inside there are valuable, sort of tokens that you can use even for your businesses. Taking, when you take orders and all of that stuff. So please make sure that you use all of this to the benefit of your business. Okay. Thank you very much for participating. And yeah, we just wanted to encourage you guys to keep on doing what you're doing and that this platform has recognized you guys. All right. So I think let's get straight into it. I will then announce the first winner. Again, there's no particular order. All right. Thank you, guys. The fourth winner of the Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa Business in a Box competition goes to Uarabethu Makhobo. Go Kgalema. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, as we close the Tea Time Power Youth Weekend for Free State Tabanchu 2024, the winner of the final CCBSA Business in a Box competition, taking 20,000 Rand home, it goes to Fresh Fast Mampaba Muloti. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. That concludes the Empower Youth Weekend. You've been a great audience. Please make sure that you stay inspired, you stay connected, and you will definitely be transformed. Thank you for having us as Empower Works. Thank you to Tita. Thank you to everybody, all our speakers, the church for making it happen. We'll certainly always carry you in our hearts, and we will try to come back again if it's God willing. Thank you very much. You're all free to go home. Okay, there's food outside. As you come out, you'll take your food. Use this exit and that one.